This video is brought to you by the patrons on my Patreon page. Support the channel by heading to the description below.
Resume the bombardment, Commander.
Before we start, I want to give you guys a heads up. GOG has given me a code for a discount on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So if you don't have the game already, now's the time. Also, I spoil maybe the entire game, and I do it quickly, so, you know, if you haven't played this game yet, don't watch it. I don't know. Unless you're like me and you saw this game's twist coming the moment you landed on Taris. You've been warned. Do you like lightsabers? They're cool, huh? They go all like... Yeah, that's cool. And then a dude goes, "Hey bitch, I'm your father," and... Ow, dude, what the fuck, man? That's my hand!
Calm down, you little bitch. I've had both my legs cut off.
But why?
It's called being a father. I'm trying to toughen your bitch ass up.
Fine, great. You know, totally unnecessary lesson learned, Dad.
God, you're such a pussy.
I hate you! I'm going to my room and I'm never coming out! Do you like big titty strippers with tentacles on their heads, who think they're too good for you once they get what they want out of you? Do you like alien racism and heavy-handed allegories to life in the late 1990s? Do you like graphics that look like they came out of a toaster slightly burnt, but then someone scraped it all off with a butter knife? Then boys and gals, have I got the game for you. Produced in 2003 for the original Xbox, it's the best Star Wars game ever produced for the console.
Are you joking?
Today we're looking at how to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Style RPG. It was birthed back in the day when a little company you might have heard of created mechanically solid, lore-rich RPGs. I guess one day they were in a board meeting and Bill Gates kicked in the door and said, "Hey fuckers, I heard you guys were working on one of your little gay RPG games. Why don't you make a third-person action game for a real gamer? Make a game for the Xbox." Nobody knew it then, but history was about to be made. The multiple-headed president of BioWare thought to himself, what kind of movies does your average Cheeto dust-covered gamer like to see? And that's the story of how we got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. As for playing it, that's an entirely different story. Getting this bitch running is pretty standard for a game this old. You start the game, find out that the only resolution available is potato, and then you search the internet for a solution to this problem. You might be thinking, hey, maybe GOG has a better version than Steam. Well, kid, I've got news for you. I bought both versions, Steam and GOG, only to be dismayed by the fact that both games have the same problem. Here's how you fix this. Go to this address and do all the steps that are outlined in that video. The description has links to both the patches and the unencrypted EXE, which you'll need for any of these things to work. It's a time-consuming process, but well worth it. This is in stark contrast to the easily better game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, which works right out of the box in 1080p and even 1440. Odd. It's almost as if that game gets a hell of a lot more love than this one. I wonder why. And make sure you praise Zool in the comments for providing the fixes in such an easily digestible format. There's plenty of viable builds in this game, but what you pick is really down to how you want your Jedi to play, because of a couple of reasons. First point of order is the skill system. Skills are kind of worthless, not across the board, mind you. They just stop being useful once you become a mindless Sith killing machine. I guess I should probably qualify this. Persuade, for instance, is made redundant by Force Persuade, which is arguably more satisfying, more consistent version of the skill. And by not investing in it, you can use those skill points to, say, repair HK faster, or put points into treatment to get a bonus to your healing. Okay, Jesus, I feel like I should probably qualify that statement too. Persuade's not really redundant, and it's not really useless. It's just that it's useless for Sith because you're not going to be trying to persuade people to turn back to the light, because it's possible to turn just about every single bad guy in this game back to the path of light if your persuade is high enough. So it does have its uses, it just doesn't have any uses to Revan, which is who I... Computers is also redundant mainly because there's always a brute force way of doing things. Demolitions is handled by your companions, so no need to invest in it yourself. I mean, you kind of see where I'm going with this, right? There's never a need for you yourself to invest in any skills other than maybe repair or treatment. Everything else you can leave up to your companions to handle. Even computers, demolition, security, any goddamn thing that you need done. Your companions can handle that for you. Do you like cutting through enemies like a lightsaber through Luke's hand? Well, have I got a build for you. First, we pick Soldier and invest heavily into strength and dexterity, with some charisma and wisdom for using things like force speed and shield, then get dual weapon fighting and flurry, and force jump, and max that shit as soon as you can. Once you get the ability to debuff, take slow and upgrade it fully as well as force suppression for knocking down rival Jedi buffs. Maxed out poison is awesome against Malak at the end of the game because it slows him down and gives you a chance to heal and get some shots in. Throughout the course of play, you'll get 5 attribute points for your character by level 20. So dump them all into strength, and if you're doing an armor-based build, keep in mind that some force powers don't work with armor, like force speed, but choke does. Kill, which is the maxed out choke, is OP as fuck, and insanity is even better for groups. But this shit won't do anything against Malak, so you have to keep the end game in mind. Force lightning is good, but not so much for a guardian. Your guardian will likely be gearing up for strength and dexterity or strength and constitution. I recommend strength and dex, but honestly, this all depends on whether you're going to be wearing armor or not, so make that decision up front. I went with a scout, then a Jedi counselor because of the bonus that you get in force points, and the fact that you get an extra force power at level 1, 5, 9, 13, and 17, which will help me max out many Jedi powers. Scouts get repair, which I'll need for the best boy in the game, HK, so that I can unlock his most treasured, well-kept secrets. For attributes, I went with a 15, 14, 12, 8, 14, and 14. Here's what I was thinking with this. Insanity was going to be my main skill, because the AoE on this thing is huge. It almost always works, and once the groups of enemies are stunned, I can go in and get free flurry damage to wipe them out. You wouldn't believe how well this works. The next power is Kill. It's essentially a maxed out force choke. This skill is imperative to max out because the damage it does at max is insane. And against shit like these fucking rancors or big groups of bad boys that keep resisting insanity, you throw a choke on them and they're no longer a problem for a little while. And so long as you keep the choke on them every 2 rounds, they can't use their powers or hit you. Also, I can't imagine there's a better feeling than choking a bitch from across the street from the seat of your car.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
Force lightning is going to be your best bet against groups, but, and this is a big but, it depends on a lot of factors. Lightning and Death Field are similar in AoE. Death Field can heal you for a ton of damage against groups, and it's an awesome skill, but you don't get it maxed until the end of the game. Lightning is useful throughout the game, but mostly against robots and assholes with energy shields. I normally take both, but I don't start investing in a Death Field until around 10 or 11, because Choke is more important, and so is Night Speed. I go with a 15 in Strength because I'll gain 5 attribute points along the way, and this will allow us to end up with a 20 in Strength by the end of the game, and a 27 in Strength with items. And our dexterity will be somewhere around 18 or 20. I won't be using armor often, but you totally could with this build because Choke and Insanity don't have an armor restriction, and Insanity is your main skill. If you're worried about AC, you can depend on buffs, or you can go light side and start using some of the actual good Jedi robes. But my character stuns all enemies anyway, so who cares about AC? Like seriously, I'll be ripping through this game like that skinhead ripped through Derek Vineyard's butthole. For skills, take Repair and max it. And if you have some bonus points, then dump the rest into Treat Injury. Treat Injury is by far the superior choice, especially for the end game. Don't be like me and put nothing into it, because the end game is going to be annoying as shit for you. As for the feats, there's only 2 feats that you should care about, and that's 2-weapon fighting and flurry. Pick this up and then name your character something cool and foreshadowing, like Darth Revan. No, wait, no, that's too heavy-handed. How about Revan? Yeah. Yeah, it's a solid name. No one will suspect my true nature! I focus on all these dark side powers because we'll be doing a dark side run. Why does this matter? Well, dark side powers cost a hell of a lot less to cast when you're on the dark side. So, for instance, if you are max dark side, not only do you look like that kid from Rain, but your Force Lightning and Death Field only costs about 10 force points to cast, and Insanity costs 5. If you reverse this, Lightning and Death Field cost 35 force points to cast, and Insanity will cost you 18. With a dark side character, I never ran out of force points until I started using a light side skill, which wasn't often, so keep that in mind. Once you create your character, you'll be taken to what can only be called the longest tutorial section in gaming history. I refuse to give this section any screen time. It's a goddamn tutorial area. If you're any age above sperm and balls, then you have seen one of these sections before. You're playing a BioWare game, so your character is either one of two things: an amnesiac who can't remember anything, or a character who acts like an amnesiac because writing is hard.
Did you fall out of your bunk and hit your head?
You wake up in your bed and look around and your character's like, "This is not my beautiful house." And you might ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Then Trask bursts in and there's explosions going kerploosh all around you, and he's got that sweaty nerd forehead going, talking about how they have to get the fuck out of here before the Sith blow this bitch up. Then he spends like an hour filling you in since you had your mind wiped by since you forgot all your memories while you were asleep. Then he Hulk smashes his way through the fourth wall and addresses the keyboard and buttons and shit directly to the player.
Use the equip screen to
Use the
equip the
mouse to
armor
look
and
through your
weapons
inventory.
from your
Left-click the
inventory.
mouse to select
You
an
can
inventory
access this
slot.
screen by
Holy fucking shit! My mouse has buttons? Trask will open the door for you, and then you get treated to a cutscene, then another cutscene, then another cutscene, which really wants to try and sell you on just how desperate this whole situation is. At some point, you'll be forced to level up, and this will be the last time you do this until you leave Taris. Don't you fucking level up, you hear me? Don't do it. Just stay a level 2 and struggle along this shitty planet of Taris until you become a Jedi and pick your Jedi class. Then you can thank me later in the comments. Or you can meet me at a coffee shop and give me a handy. Eventually, you'll get to a section that BioWare calls Meaningful Choice, TM, and you get to decide whether the guys in the next room die to you, die to a robot, or get cooked alive by electricity. You know, I've heard that states stopped using the electric chair because it's inhumane. I mean, what a bunch of pussies, am I right, my dudes? Second, why do I not get dark side points for this? Are you saying that the Jedi are less enlightened than the state of Texas? Anyway, the ship will ejaculate you onto the surface of Taris, and you get woke up from a nightmare of that time when your beautiful wife tried to kill you with a lightsaber. Taris is where we get to know Karth, aka Wet Blanket, aka the angel on your shoulder.
Are you joking? We don't need this guy's credits. Just go on. We were happy to help.
You exit your hideout to find a Sith hassling a bunch of poor aliens and just being a general dick.
They're Republic fugitives! Attack!
So the best way to deal with them is to throw a grenade into the group of them. Unfortunately, the alien also survives. Sure, helping you, that's what I was doing. Next, we want to do a little B&E and steal everything. It's all free, and no one seems to mind that you're doing it.
I remember when a person didn't have to worry about thieves rummaging through their home.
And would you look at that? No dark side points for stealing from a poor family. What doesn't the Jedi Code allow?
There is no passion. There is serenity.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, so as long as I don't steal with anger, I should be all good. Okay, thanks, Yoda. At this point, you'll want to equip both yourself and Karth with 2 melee weapons. Karth is already a dual wielder, and Flurry can clap a motherfucker real good. So once you get a feat for him, make sure you get Flurry. You'll get stopped by a vendor here, and by now you might be irritated that you keep getting stopped. You might express that frustration in a less than healthy way.
Look, I know we're trying to keep a low profile, but this kind of attitude will draw attention we don't need.
Did I mention that Karth is annoying? Well, he gets worse. Once you exit the apartments, you'll see a walkway containing 4 different areas, and one door that leads to the other side of town. Which side of town are we on right now? Not sure? How about the apartments? Which one are we in right now? The Xbox, a truly powerful piece of machinery. From here, you'll want to kill these drunk assholes.
Oh, great. We're fighting the drunks, are we?
If you can't enjoy killing drunks, what can you enjoy, Karth?
Shouldn't you go to the lower stage where you belong, Slummy?
For the high crime of voice acting unbefitting, I sentence you to death. Hey, thanks, soldier. I don't know why everyone's so angry at the Sith. They don't seem that bad. Before you get to your destination, you will be stopped again. And this time, it's an old man being shaken down by some thugs. The thugs turn to you and talk some shit. You gonna take that? Of course not. Throw a grenade, and then the old man, after standing in the blast radius, will thank you for being such a nice guy.
Thank you! I owe you my life!
To which any sane person will respond by robbing him. Of course, Karth, being a fucking killjoy, he actually stops you from taking the old man's money.
Are you joking? We don't need this guy's credits. Just go on. We were happy to help.
God, I hate you so much, Karth. You make me want to create a female character just so I can watch you cry like a little bitch at the end. Head on into the identical apartment complex on the other side of town and find the Sith boys doing a friendly interrogation of an alien resident.
I'm getting sick of your lies, you alien scum.
You're a racist.
We've got your ugly mug and a security tape from the base. Start talking before I splatter your slimy brains all over this room.
Oh my god! Wow!
Go in, kill the Sith, and take their costumes. Then steal anything left in the containers. You can let them kill the alien if you want. Honestly, it's probably better not to leave witnesses.
Ready?
You might be finding that you're pretty injured right now after racking up that insane body count that your megalomaniacal character has tallied, and you might be tempted to use a med pack, but stop, don't, go into your map, and hit return to hideout. While streaming, I was told that this allows you to teleport back and forth and receive a free heal anytime you're not inside an enemy base. So there you go, free heals. Head back to the map screen and hit transit back and you'll be instantly teleported back to where you left off. Almost like a half step towards auto healing after combat. You know, like Halo. Head on over to the area being guarded by the Sith and...
It's obvious from the way you're dressed that you're not one of the Sith patrols, so unless you have the authorization papers, you must move along.
Oh yeah. I forgot to put on my uniform.
Another patrol heading down to the lower city, eh?
Everything is fine here, just fine. When you go down into the underground, you'll find that two gangs are fighting to prove that one gang can ride a rocket sled faster than the other. And they do this with a dance-off. Look at those moves. The perfect execution. It's beautiful. After they exhaust the other dance team with their dazzling moves, they turn to you, point and say, "It's a Sith, kill him!" If you take off your uniform before you trigger the cutscene, they say, "Hey, it's a stranger, kill him!" Is everyone in this game a fucking psycho? Here's how you handle this fight, especially since you should still only be level 2 because you'd better be saving up those levels for when you become a Jedi. Switch to your character, run behind Big Daddy Karth, let him draw the aggro, and sacrifice him to the gods with a well-thrown grenade.
1.
Head down to the tavern and you'll be treated to a cutscene of the world's smallest Mandalorian.
2.
God, Callow, how did you get so cool?
3.
Wow. So cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Now, as we all know, there's more to being evil than just being a dick who kills everyone and steals from pitiful old men. Being evil is also finding those little moments where you can completely ruin someone else's dream. My character has always wanted to be a dancer, ever since he was a wee lad living in Ireland. But his dad never approved.
Not friggin' Bali.
Now is his chance, perhaps his one and only chance, to prove that he's got what it takes.
Cut me, bitch. Don't want to do it. Cut me.
The fat fucker over here has some bounties, so just go and talk to him. Do every one of these bounties. Most of them are easy to find. Just wander around the apartments, knocking on doors, and shooting whoever comes to answer. Eventually, you'll kill someone who has a bounty on their head. Most of the bounties are in the lower city apartments, so head there first. Take out those bounties, then head to the upper city apartments to finish out the rest. And listen, if you're going to commit to a dark side playthrough, don't puss out when the morality gets a little gray.
He gets drunk and tries to force himself on me, and I get a bounty put on my head for defending myself. Where's the justice in that? Holden's the one to blame, not me.
What's wrong with you? She doesn't deserve this.
Or I should say, when the morality is so obviously black and white. I forgot this was a BioWare game. There's no room for gray here.
One little babysitter's mouth.
Next, let's head over to the droid lady and buy ourselves a droid for 50 credits. What? It's gotta be worth more than that and just scrap. Walk out and your droid will have a temper tantrum and refuse to leave the store until you buy it a Beyblade. Drag the little fucker by the arm back into the store and tell the bitch you want your money back. If only you could do that with kids. She'll give it back, but then you can persuade her to give you more money back for your trouble. If you succeed, you gain dark side points. Hey Yoda. Yes? Can you tell me the code again?
There is no ignorance. There is knowledge.
Okay, you motherfuckers are confusing the shit out of me right now. Now, before the blood rush wears off, head to the cantina on the upper side of town and talk to this guy about fighting in the arena. It's good fun and keeps you from going too long without that dopamine reward. At level 2, you should be able to kill all the combatants until Marl. Anyone who is ranged, throw grenades. It's simple, but Marl is melee and he can wipe you out in one combat round. Without a melee shield or a lot of stims, you don't stand a chance. The arena is very difficult to beat at level 2. You could just keep trying until the RNG gods smile upon you, but it's guaranteed to be a pain in the ass. Or you could just skip it. But here's something you can do. Buy some mines, then Adrenal Alacrity. The speed boost gives you enough of a running start to set up a mine, and Marl, being a dumb old fuck, will walk right into him. Easy peasy. I couldn't do this myself because I didn't have the demolition skill, but you can. For Twitch, activate your energy shield, close distance, and if she doesn't activate melee, which he might, my brain's a little fuzzy on that, lob a concussion grenade. If it doesn't stun him, reload a save and try again. Throw all your frags at him until he's stunned and activate the shields again. Rinse repeat until the fucker's dead. Bendak is a bit different. He throws out grenades right out the gate that will one-shot you. With him, you can close distance and he'll chase you. Use traps and adrenal stims like you did with Marl, but keep your shield up because he could try and shoot you. If you need traps and concussion grenades, try to the store outside of the cantina. She has an unlimited supply of them. When you fight Twitch, don't collect your reward. Instead, go over to Bendak and challenge him. Once you kill Bendak, collect a reward for him, then for Twitch, and if you do this right, it will trigger the Bendak reward script a second time, and you should now have 2 of Bendak's blasters. Programming is hard. By this point, you'll most likely run across this cutscene and one of the most annoying characters in the game. It's okay though, she's accompanied by... Ooh, Dream Wiener, I believe you can soothe my swollen balloon nights. Ooh, Dream Wiener, I believe you can soothe my swollen balloon nights. This big hunk of primate that she calls Big Z. Big indeed.
You got a problem with me? Then you got a problem with Big Z. So unless you want to take on my furry friend, I suggest you greenies.
Greenies? What the fuck you calling greenies?
That's racist!
When you get the Wookiee and equip him with 2 swords, this dude is a fucking vibroblade blender. Next, we can hop on the main mission, finding Bastila. Head on over to the Hidden Beck's base, agree to find the stolen prototype, and on your way to the sewers, you'll get a glimpse of the second best boy in the game, and your soon-to-be right-hand man, Candra's motherfucking Ordo.
I'm someone you don't want to get on the bad side of, and I'm not one for small talk.
A few moments later.
Those Vulkars are dumber than a Coruscant granite slug. They actually think being in that pathetic little gang of theirs makes them important. Gadon keeps his hidden Becks in line, but Brezhik's getting dreams of grandeur. If Davik's smart, he'll slap that young punk back down.
Once you get to the Undercity, you'll be accosted by 2 peasants, and another female peasant who rapes your free time with her sob story.
I've never seen it. I was born here in the Undercity. Is it as nice as they say up there?
Endar, hurry! I can hear it coming!
He'll never make it. He's doomed.
You monster! How can you say that?
Sorry, bitch. Antidotes are expensive.
A horrible fate for poor Endar. I warned him not to leave the safety of the village. I'll open the gate for you, Upworlder.
You monster.
Shit never gets old. Once you head in, you'll find your third companion mission. This racist Twi'lek from before who, very likely, takes that Wookiee dick. And she's upset because some pigs took her furry friend and are gonna sell him off as a slave to the nearest fur con. You definitely want to find Big Z for her because he is, by far, the best melee fighter in the game, if that's your kind of thing. Make sure you check out the entire courtyard before heading into the sewers, and maybe before even going in, buy some antidotes, as you might find yourself needing them in combat, especially if you're playing on the hardest difficulty. However, like with any other fight, if you find yourself injured, don't use a med pack. Teleport to the hideout and heal up, and transit back from the map menu. Head to the sewers, find the big gorilla, give him his blades, then kill a big rancor by using the scent gland shit you find on the corpse right outside the door. Because if it wasn't right outside the door, how would we ever possibly know to use it? Or you could stop being a bitch your whole life and kill the rancor by setting up a million traps, getting his attention with a couple grenades, then kite him for about a half hour until he dies. You don't get anything for this except for the satisfaction of knowing you wasted all of your resources on him and did it the right way. The only way. The Strat-Edgy way. Once you get to the Vulker's base, do two things. Get the key to the garage and betray Gadden. Agree to kill Gadden for Brejik, then go back to Gadden, kill his entire gang, then agree to double-cross the Vulkers again. It's a triple cross! If the persuasion check succeeds, that is. I ended up having to kill Gadden because, well, I'm level 2 and have no persuasion skills. Gadden is being hidden in his office like a little bitch, because somehow they know that an assassin is after Gadden, but they don't know who. Well, how the fuck do you know that there's an assassin coming for him, but you don't know it's me? And if the Black Vulkers put a price on Gadden's head after they fucking hired me to do it for them, doesn't that kind of ruin any chances I might have had at surprising the fucker? The writing of Taris is all over the place. Shit would be funny if it wasn't so painful to play through. Since you're level 2 during this fight, wait for Wookiee Boy and Viewfinder Man to draw the aggro. Then step in and get a shot or two. If you draw any aggro, you'll go down in a hit, maybe 2 if you're lucky, so don't spam your flurry. Along with giving you a penalty to hit, it also gives you a huge penalty to your defense, so don't use it if you don't want to die. If any of your crew get close to dying during this fight, which is possible because these fuckers hit like a truck, go into your inventory and use medkits from there. Never use up your turn doing that. Using medkits from inventory is an instant heal in most cases, except in the rare times when you're in the middle of a turn. And it even works during a stun. So if you're stunned or in any way incapacitated, if you heal from the inventory, it still heals you. It's fucking awesome! And you still get to hit during your turn. Anyway, once these two are dead, loot everything. There's 500 credits in the chest and a bunch of great shit on their corpses. With the Beck leader dead, all that's left to do is win the race. This shit is easy. Just don't run into any of the gas pump looking things and you'll eventually beat the best time. The fight at the end of this shit is dangerous, however, because you can get snuck attacked by this dick behind you, so do yourself a favor and pop an energy shield to block the blaster bolts coming at you, which can easily one-shot you, then retreat as far back as you can. From here, huck about 4 or 5 grenades of explodey, juiced-in goodness at Brejik, and get cucked as you watch your girlfriend get tag-teamed. But she can handle it. Don't get involved unless you want to have to do all this shit over again.
Save me. Is that what you were trying to accomplish by riding in that swoop race? In fact, it's more accurate to say that I saved you. Finally, some good news. Carl is one of the Republic's best soldiers. He's proved himself a hero a dozen times over. And it's you who saved me and misjudged him.
After she stops flapping her succulent, juicy lips, you're teleported back to your hideout, and she just keeps going.
You mean you don't have a plan to get off Taris yet? What have you been doing all this time? My attitude. It strikes me that you are the one in sore need of an attitude adjustment.
Lord, please pray for the soul of this bitch and guide my pimp hand and make it strong, Lord, so that she might learn a hole's place. Amen.
Amen. I know you're new at this, Bastila, but a leader doesn't berate her troops just because things aren't going as planned. Don't let your ego get in the way of the real issues here.
The best thing you can do is gang up on her and watch as she eats a big old slice of humble pie.
Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Once you're done making her feel like a little girl, go and upgrade all your equipment. You're gonna need it with the fights about to come up. As we exit the apartment, a guy comes running up to us to tell us that sexy boy Candaris is waiting for us at the cantina in the underground. If Bastila is with you, you'll get a chance to level her. Make sure you start working up to choke, and take various stun effects as powers. And when you can, take heal. Go down to the cantina. Canderous has a plan to get you off the planet, but first, Bastila needs some more pie.
You don't need to ally yourself with this person. We should move on while we can.
I ain't talking to you. I'm talking with your friend, aren't I?
Canderous's plan involves stealing a spacey ship from his former employer. But in order to get off the planet, you need the launch codes, or else your ship will get shot to pieces before you can even leave orbit. So our next mission is to break into the Sith base and steal the codes. This place is tough for a level 2, but there's a few things you can do to make it easier. First, go and see the lady that sold you the exploding robot. Tell her that if she doesn't give you that fucking robot for free, Davik will come down here himself and shut her down permanent-like. That usually works. Then take Bastila and a little robot with you into the base. Bring plenty of grenades, especially concussion grenades. This place is pretty straightforward. Use the droid to hack the console in the lobby of the base and have him turn off all the sentries and defenses. Because fighting the big boy droid at the end of this place with turrets poking holes in you is not fun. This droid is the most challenging thing on the first floor because its shields make it nearly impenetrable. If you brought the droid with you, an ion cannon might put in some work, but if not, you could huck a bunch of ion grenades at it and take its shield down. If Bastila has lightning, that should also work as well, but there's a simpler answer. At the front desk in the lobby, the computer has the ability to take down the droid's shields for only 7 spikes, so if you've been saving up your computer spikes, you should be able to do this. A droid shield disruptor should be able to do the same thing, so keep that in mind. The console in the lobby will also let you open the door to the elevator, so if this thing is too much for you or you just don't want to fucking deal with it, you could just run past it and into the elevator, theoretically. I've never tried it myself. As for the Sith governor on the 2nd floor, find a way to take down his shield. I use the shield disruptor on the droid, then his stun skill, as well as spamming all of Bastila's stun on him. Once you get him stunned once, it's murder she wrote on this asshole. He hits hard, so it's best to get him vulnerable and down on the ground quick. Forced push, stun, any of these things work. But what's also great is, if you could get him to focus on the droid, you can hit him with a concussion grenade as well. Also, if you want to just fuck this guy up, set up some traps near the entrance to the door, and then let the dumbass walk into him. Once this is done, loot his body and all of the footlockers and get the codes. Head back to Canderous and he tells you that the plan is to infiltrate Davik's base by pretending to want to work to become a part of the exchange. And Davik, I guess, being the kind-hearted, trusting, drug, slave, and weapon smuggling kingpin that he is, lets you into the heart of his base, giving you access to his entire operation, and even allows you to keep your weapons. He even lets you fuck his slaves. What a nice guy!
Come with me. I will give you a tour of my operations.
But before we meet Davik, we get a cutscene. Then we get to meet the bad guy. You know that he's a bad guy because he has some metal shit in front of his lips that make him sound like a robot.
Your predecessor once made the mistake of questioning my orders, Admiral.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I've given everything I have to you. To the dark side.
Take that ridiculous thing off.
Anyway, Kalu Nord is there, and both him and Davik are suspicious because Canderous is no longer working alone. They're really making a big deal of it, which is confusing because I have literally never seen Canderous working alone. I can't fucking wait to get off this planet. It doesn't take much to get Davik's trust, though. Apparently my ability to ride a swoop bike is good enough for him to say we're in. Now, before we do anything else, you've had a rather tough day, haven't you?
Now this is my kind of place.
You need some time to unwind. Go see the tentacle girls down the hall.
Here we have succulent fruits and berries to tempt your palate.
Are we calling titties berries now? Get a, quote, massage and a handy release from the day's stress.
You will find this most relaxing if you would come with me into the massage room at the back.
A few moments later.
I trust you are satisfied with the service.
Then get another one. And another one. And then tell her she's done a terrible job.
Please, I beg you, don't tell Davik you are displeased with me. He punishes those slaves who do not satisfy his guests. I'm sorry I have failed to please you, Master. I will try to do better in the future.
Then ask for another massage. Tears are a fantastic massage oil. This game is so fucked up. Now we're gonna run through the base killing and looting the place clean. Find the guy being tortured, let him out, get the codes for the security system, and then kill him. I said kill everyone, remember? Don't puss out now. The last thing we need to do is kill Davik and Callow. You should be using Wookiee Boy and Canderous right now, and since both of these idiots use guns, you're gonna use concussion grenades, plasma grenades, and just about all your shit before closing the distance and wiping them out. If you're all using energy shields, then this fight is a fucking joke. Steal all of Davik's shit and then steal his spaceship, and yes, we are finally off of this fucking planet. Time to start actually playing the goddamn game! Dantooine is like water in a desert, an air bubble when Sonic is about to drown, a big titty milkmaid to a hungry baby. In other words, Dantooine is where the game should have started. This is, after all, where things start to take place, where the story begins. We learn about the Jedi Code, we learn about Darth Revan's backstory, we learn about his fall to the dark side and the noble reasons that led him there. This is when the game starts getting good. Before that, though, talk to this guy. Soon you'll get to start speccing out skills for your Jedi. If you're thinking about speccing into strength, and like sabers, pick Guardian. They get a force jump that will blow your mind. For skills, I spec into Insanity and Lightning. Will saves are harder for enemies to make, so Insanity makes the early game a lot easier. But I also go with Choke because memes. But honestly, this shit is all about the role you're gonna play. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of buffs. Force speed being the absolute best buff in the game when combined with Master Flurry, especially when it applies to everyone. It's always nice to get a buff to your saving throws, so Force Resist can help you there as well. Also, don't sleep on the implant feats. These will help you get your stats up to ridiculous levels. Now back to the story. Jack Lemmon here doesn't want to train us. He thinks we're too old, but our old trainer, I mean this guy, wants to train us. We remind him of someone from his past, I guess. The Jedi Council argue back and forth about whether they should let an old guy like myself join the Order. So the Jedi are a bunch of ageist fucks. Nice to know.
Traditionally, the Jedi do not accept adults for training, though there are rare exceptions in the history of our Order.
Oh yeah, I heard about that guy. These fuckers seem to have an unnatural affinity for children.
Do it.
They're starting to remind me of the Catholic Church, just a smidge too much. The Jedi Council sends us to our room, and it's there that we get another, quote, vision. We will soon find out that we are somehow tied to Bastila, and that we share dreams, which is the best way to start a relationship. So like any good potential suitor, it's best to start sword fighting with her immediately. Take a break by watching some podcasts.
They killed my dog. They killed my wife. And now everyone keeps asking me if I'm black. You know what? I'm thinking, yeah. I'm black.
Then start asserting your dominance. Then as soon as possible, we should start jerking off into all the potted plants in the place to mark our territory. Soon the two of you will be bound together like Chinese finger traps. Your first mission as a Jedi will be to cleanse a grove. And by cleanse the grove, they mean talk some bitch into coming back to the Jedi Enclave. This conversation is a puzzle, basically. You could fail it over and over again, and the only penalty will be you having to start the conversation over. It's rather annoying because there are no stakes, and no risk for fucking it up so bad you end up having to reload a save. So basically, unless you want to kill Juhani, you can't fail this mission. All you have to do is keep failing, trying again, then fail again until you find out one of the 5 or 6 options that's the right one. Of course, if you absorb the Jedi Code, you'd be able to guess the answers. Here's a hint. If a dialogue option sounds like it was written by a Dark Ages knight during a conquest in Jerusalem, then you pick the right answer. Once we return her to the Enclave, she will now be available as a companion. By this point, you may have run across some Mandalorians. They're basically in every zone. These guys can be tough if you don't prepare, and by prepare, I mean use Jedi speed, energy shields, and concussion grenades. You want to force choke the shit out of the Mandos, and focus at least one of your Jedi on them. Then have your remaining teammates eliminate the Duros as they fall pretty easily. The side quests in this area are kinda lame, save for the robot molesting old lady.
I seem to have lost my companion.
And the quest to kill some Mandos.
Those Mandalorian brutes have killed my daughter.
You should have protected her better. and you call yourself her father.
They spoon-feed you the answer to questions that could have actually been pretty interesting to explore, like the quest at the Matali house. If you go straight there, the daughter comes out and straight up tells you that her father kidnapped the Shen kid.
My father has kidnapped Shen Matale. He is holding him prisoner here in the compound.
Well then, another mystery solved, Scoob. And when you find the kid in the estate, he doesn't want to leave, unless we convince the Matali girl to leave with him. That's because ever since this guy got kidnapped, she's been riding his dick like a pony. At the end of the quest, the kids run off to the Jedi Enclave to do their own thing, and leave their parents to their petty bullshit.
There you are, Shen.
Father! Mr. Matale!
Rahesha!
Father!
Mr. Sandro!
Nurik! Alan!
Maki, Ricky, Danny, Terry, Mikey, Davey, Timmy, Tommy, Joey, Robbie, Johnny, and Brian.
This quest is fucking lame. Sorry if you like it. Though I do find this bit of dialogue coming from the Jedi Knight to be hilariously ironic.
There is nothing to fear from us, unless you have something to hide.
You know what? It sounds even worse when you play it in black and white with a different accent.
There's nothing to fear from us, unless you have something to hide.
What the fuck is up with the Jedi in this game? Are they secret Nazis? Did BioWare make the Jedi secret Nazis? Far more interesting is the missing robot quest.
Although in recent months the assistance I render seems to have taken on a disproportionate significance.
Not because it's deep in any way you might think, it just made me wonder who was wearing the strap-on in this relationship.
She tried to treat me as her dead husband. It was not healthy for her. You don't want to know.
There's a murder mystery that I remember being pretty good, so I won't spoil it. Just gobble up as much EXP as you can and head over to the place where Revan and Malak went during your vision. The next real mission after the Grove has you heading into an old abandoned ruin where someone called the Builders used slaves to build something called a Starforge. I bet it's a pyramid. Want to bet some money it's a pyramid? The robots here have a shield like the assault droid, but if you waited to level up and took lightning as one of your skills, these things go down in just a few seconds and are barely an issue. You'll find that lightning shooting from your fingertips can solve many of life's problems. McDonald's French fries cold when you get home? Lightning. Kid won't stop playing League of Legends? Lightning. Wife is divorcing you for half your shit? You guessed it. Lightning. There's not much else to do on this planet, so turn in the mission and speak with the Jedi Council. But before you leave, make sure you've killed the Mandalorian leader and visited the Crystal Caves. You'll want their loot before heading on to the next planet. The Mando has lightsabers and a gauntlet of strength. Also, if you haven't done so already, check out the little area west of your ship. They have some really decent gear here, including a strength-enhancing belt. But honestly, you're probably better off hoarding all your money until the late game when some much better gear becomes available. Next, we're off to Tatooine, the planet equivalent of a meme at this point, as it appears in every single fucking Star Wars anything that has ever existed. While on the ship, you'll get a chance to talk to the only characters that matter. Those are Canderous and... he's the only one. You can talk to Bastila if you want, but she's always her no matter what, so, you know, put yourself through that if you want. She'll talk about how you two are linked through your dreams and yada yada dumb Jedi bullshit, and if you pay enough attention to her throughout the game, she'll eventually throw you a pity fuck. Like, okay. We should talk about gender and the differences. Wait, no, I mean the differences in the game. Stop typing your dumbass comment. If you're a chick, welcome, by the way, we need more of you here. This place is a sausage fest. If your character's female, you get a chance to talk Karth out of his panties. If you do that, you also get a chance to use your swarthy, vagina-based charms to dick trick him into becoming a Sith. Because as we all know, there's not enough blood in the body to allow the brain to work when the dick is using it all up. So you become Dark Lord Revan, and at your side is Karth, your gimp, your slave, for all of your reign. There's also another alternative ending, but I didn't know this until today, actually, when I looked it up. It's actually cut content. So there's a mod that restores the cut content, and what will happen is Karth will come to you at the end, and he'll beg you to stop. Stop doing what you're doing, Revan. Stop being Revan, man. And he wants to, you know, try and dick trick you into having one more quickie before the whole place blows up. And I guess it's like love saves you kind of thing, but it doesn't really save you. It literally fucking kills you. You guys blow up. If it's the other way around, Bastila will become your right hand and Karth will run off like the tiniest little bitch in the galaxy, leaving Mission there, all alone. What a little bitch ass he turned out to be, huh? Anyway, what were you supposed to be doing? Oh yeah, Tatooine. It's a desert planet that does desert things, like have wildlife that wants you dead, very little water, and people that somehow, against all odds, manage to survive there, but with copious amounts of sand kicking up all their orifices. It's a shitty place, but it is the best place to visit early because HK is there. If you have Force Persuasion, Tatooine is a smorgasbord of free shit, like free parking, free racing, and best of all, half off the purchase of the best character in the game. Then we see a vision of the MacGuffin, and then Bastila reiterates what's already been said.
The Force is guiding us.
Yes, I know! And after that, we're finally free.
Zerka Corporation stands ready to serve, after some formalities, of course.
God damn it.
Your ship is not on our list of planned arrivals for today.
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing this a lot in the game.
I assure you that the fee is non-negotiable.
Bullshit, they aren't.
You know, I don't think you need to pay the fee. We'll let it go this time.
I'm amazed at how many people that works on. The entire galaxy must be filled with weak-minded fools.
Candace has got it right. It's full of them. This guy has information on paying jobs, and most of these jobs are passive and lead into a few more active missions. I won't cover much about these, but suffice to say you'll complete almost all of these missions by simply playing the main storyline. As soon as you get out of the parking lot, you get accosted by a beggar.
Please, will you help me?
Just like an American shopping mall. And instead of trying to sell you stolen perfume, this bitch tries to sell you an animal skull. She can't sell it because she needs a license to hunt. So, use Force Persuade on her to reduce her price to half.
Half is acceptable to me. I agree. It will have to do. I thank you, I guess. Maybe it's enough.
The role of the weak is to serve the will of the strong. I'm glad you understand that.
Candace, you really get me, man. You really get me. And listen, as a poorly textured shag carpet lectures you on cruelty. Now, I'm a lot like Kanye West, but without the talent, the fame, the fortune, and permanently photoshopped wife. And unlike Kanye, I have a small ego and tons of self-awareness. Okay, I'm only like Kanye in one way. I only surround myself with people who are supportive, and by supportive I mean sycophantic. So Zalbar has to go. But there's no good replacement for him right now, because we need money first. If you head over to the Hunter's Lodge, they will tell you that you need to go to the central bureaucracy and file a petition to receive a form to apply for a license that will allow you to sell some shit to someone who wants to buy it. So head on over to the Zerka office and they will tell you that they are no longer selling licenses because apparently Zerka is the only corporation that doesn't like money. I mean, slaving, that's okay. Letting miners die because no one can leave town to save them? Also okay. Leaving expensive equipment in the desert to be salvaged and sold back at a premium? Also okay. But people leaving the town? No fucking way!
There are too many people cavorting about outside the walls as it is.
They might get hurt.
We don't allow casual exploration because of legal concerns. Zerka Corporation takes no responsibility for loss of life on the dunes.
Well, if you take no responsibility for deaths on the dunes, then why the fuck are you so worried about people leaving? What the fuck is with this writing? Like, I thought that this place was owned by Zerka. Who's gonna sue? Where are they even gonna go to sue? To Zerka? Then you're telling me that a Zerka paid judge would rule against the people who pay for his hut? Unfucking likely!
It's just so we can keep track of people.
Keep track of people? What? Okay, man, whatever. Press her further and you'll notice a pattern. This is the shit that BioWare and other RPG makers of the time were known for. And for the most part still are. All this shit is a flimsy pretense for getting you to do a mission for her, which is a flimsy pretense to pad the game. What happens is you go to a place to either find something or learn something, and the person you have to get the thing from or learn the thing from won't help you unless you do them a favor first. It's done so much in the game that at a certain point even your character gets pissed off about it. If you agree to hunt down the sand people, you're given a license. And by agree, I mean, well, there ain't no other thing that you can fucking do, so you gotta agree. But when you leave, there's this handsome fellow waiting for you, asking you to please, don't kill the sand people, they're misunderstood, you see. He asked me how I can kill women and children, and I answer back,
easy! You just don't lead them so much!
Now wander around the city and you'll eventually find these cosplayers around the corner. They think they're gonna kill you. You can use horror on these guys while they're clustered up, and you can choke them and force lightning them, and they'll go down like a bag of bricks. Likely they won't get off more than a single attack. After you beat their asses, head over to the gates and talk to this little fella. He'll give you another mission that you'll do on the way to another mission, which you'll do on your way to the main mission. Basically, okay, remember back in the day when I said I dislike side quests that were designed to be done in the same place? So, for example, finding collectibles in rooms you're already exploring in Call of Duty. Well, that's what the side quests in KOTOR are. They're the RPG equivalent of collectibles in Call of Duty. They don't usually require you to think. You just do something insignificant happens, and you move on with the rest of your day. So you head out into the desert since you've gotten most of the relevant quests, and there's another bitch out there talking about how all men stick together. Listen, ladies, the only time we stick together is at a circle jerk, and that's only if we pass out on the carpet after. So this lady set up a trap for her soon-to-be ex-husband. There are 4 droids, each rigged to explode unless he could figure out the, quote, complex equations.
Anyone out there? Could you help? I seem to be, doomed.
Allocate 120 large pulses to shut down this guy. The value of this one is 9, but I tried to do the math myself and got blowed up for the effort. That's what I get for trying to count. For this one, Node 2 is reporting correctly. And on the last one, just use automatic repair. I mean, you could have done that with all of them because your repair skill is so high, but you know, I at least try to succeed before I fail. Make sure you trigger at least one trap to teach this guy a lesson about, well, whatever it is he did wrong. Leave the toilet seat up? Right? That pisses ladies off, right?
Hang in there. You're gonna be fine, okay? Stay with me now.
We're triggering them all. Doesn't matter, really. It's on the way to another quest objective that is more fun because it involves lightsabers going. Along the way, you'll get ambushed, and it's simple to take them out. Just throw an AoE fear on these guys and blast them with grenades or lightsabers. Make sure you loot the gaffy sticks and robes from these guys along with the bantha fodder. You'll need it later, and you can sell any sticks that you find to Zerka as bounties. Head on over to the big fuck-off machine in the middle of the desert and find out what's going on. These guys have been left for dead by the corporation, and the Sand People are coming to get them. And, Sand People, that's like a term that's kind of like morphed over the years to no longer mean what it used to mean. It's kind of like the term retard or mongoloid. Like, you're just not allowed to say it, but the game calls them Sand People, so, I'm gonna call these motherfuckers Sand People. Sorry. Kind of feel like I'm getting away with something here. And do you know what we do when Sand People come? We use horror on them. We use horror on everyone. Everyone? Everyone! If you're able to understand Scottish, this guy will tell you about sneaking into the Sand People base.
Did the company send you? It's about time they drove these animals out.
And even though they said I would have to sneak into the base, I didn't take them seriously. See, I didn't take Knights of the Old Republic to be a game like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I figured that if I wanted to, I could sneak in. But if I wanted to go in all Billy Badass and wreck up the place, then the game would let me, you know, like all of BioWare's previous games. But boy, how fucking silly and naive I was to think that this was a game about choice. You could try to destroy the turrets, but not only are they invincible, but if you walk up to the door, they'll trigger a game over screen. Just like that. No fucking explanation. I'm fucking serious. And this works the same if your companions walk up to the turrets to attack them. No explanation, just death. Great. Can you see where BioWare started their descent to the dark side? It was here! Not Dragon Age 2, it started here, I tell you. There's a trash pile over by some speeders where you hear a voice screaming for you to let them out. Now, normally I wouldn't care much, but as far as I know, there's no way to avoid this trap if you walk up to it. It just happens, knocks out your health, and then you're ambushed by pigs. Tell them you're gonna cut their pensions, and they'll be so horrified that they'll retreat back to their headquarters and refuse to come out. A little further from here, you'll find a group of Sand People guarding a path. They spawn more behind some rocks, so you know what you do? You guessed it. You hit them with horror and rip and tear. Next, you should go and kill the raids that are stationed a little ways away from the Sandcrawler. Make sure you get the trophies from them and sell them later. Once you've done that, head back to town and sell off all the shit you found in the desert. The raid plates are only worth 24 credits apiece, and the gaffy sticks are worth... Hang on. I had 8 sticks, so that means... Wait, are you telling me that one sand person's life is worth about the same as a fucking med pack? What? That's ridiculous! I think the bounty on nutrias in Louisiana was 50 cents a tail too, back in the day. So you're saying that a sand person is worth the same amount of money as one of these fucking things?
What?
Well, only one thing to do about this, I guess. I guess I'll just have to kill a lot more of these guys and make a profit. Now that we have some money, head over to the George shop and purchase your newest companion, HK-47, the only person you ever need by your side when you're trying to awaken the Dark Lord inside of you.
Shall I kill something for you? Answer. Indeed. I am most eager to engage in some unadulterated violence.
Level up your companion and then try to repair him. Every time you do, he receives a bonus to his attributes. By the end, you should have him looking like this.
Access complete. I have restored a great deal of information about my previous owner, Master. Would you like to hear it?
If you'd like to hear it, stick around. If not, skip to the time code in the description below.
Recitation. The earliest memory of my last owner specifies that he was human, a low-ranking commercial officer for SWKOTOR Corporation. I am unaware of his designation. He purchased me from an acquaintance I cannot identify for the purposes of protocol and bodyguard duties. Explanation. That previous owner is part of memories that are still deleted, Master. It is customary for droids' memories to be wiped when it is sold. Answer. Negative, Master. The human was terminated by this HK-47 unit prior to system shutdown. Affirmative, Master, though I had not been programmed to do so. The human's termination was accidental. Explanation. My former master had owned me for a duration of 2 standard months before discovering my assassination protocol. He was pleased by the discovery. The human informed me that a competitor corporation was preparing to market a product that would ruin him personally. He was most agitated. He activated my assassination protocol and instructed me to kill all those responsible for the competing product. I proceeded to carry out my order. Information. This HK-47 unit is complete with protocol that, when invoked, will set me to independently carry out a termination. I will go to whatever lengths, travel whatever distances are required to complete the termination. This is the reason for my combat skills. Advisement. Unfortunately, the assassination protocol is currently non-functional. You will not be able to activate it. Answer. Several of my actuators were damaged by my former owner. They cannot be repaired, Master, sad though that is. My former master was unaware of this, but the competitor was in fact an arm of SWKOTOR Corporation, my master's own employer. It did not take long for my master to realize his mistake. By then, I had already terminated 104 corporate officers. Observation. While it may have been unintentional, my master's wording of his orders left little room for me. SWKOTOR was responsible for the product, after all. I do not know why my master was so upset, really. He was an officer of SWKOTOR and a potential target, but I cannot terminate my own master. I would assume that being the sole officer remaining, he would surely be promoted. Instead, however, the human chose to go insane with rage and attack me. Objection? Naturally not, Master. As I said, I am incapable of purposefully terminating my owner. That would not be allowed. My master was not a smart man, however. While he was screaming and stabbing me with a writing utensil, he managed to pierce one of my actuators. The resulting shock terminated him and sadly destroyed my assassination protocol. Pure luck on his part, I suspect. Statement. I was only doing as I was told, Master. I would have told the human the proper codes to deactivate my protocol, had he asked. I shut down immediately whenever my master dies. I can only assume that while I was shut down, SWKOTOR was dismantled and I was auctioned off as former corporate property. Observation. No doubt my sale price was quite cheap, leading to Yukalaka's purchase. How very demeaning. Observation. So am I, Master, though I apologize for not having an assassination mode to offer you. I have recovered knowledge of some other actuators which will enhance my performance, Master. I will activate them now, but as for my own history, negative. It will require further effort on your part to restore them, if you wish. Though certain stimuli could always restore my core still, as I explained. For now, please excuse me, Master. I wish to meditate upon the face of my former meatbag master as he was electrocuted. I find it most soothing. Access complete. I have recovered information on my owner previous to the commercial officer, Master. Intriguing. Statement. It appears that my previous owner was a human senator on the planet Coruscant, a man of importance who obviously appreciated quality craftsmanship. Answer. It does not seem so, Master. No. He required a protocol droid only and wanted one as cheaply as possible. I do not know who sold me to him. I do remember that I was very pleased to be the property of a senator. One of his assistants discovered my assassination functions later through questioning. The assistant was quite alarmed and told the senator I should be scrapped quickly to avoid a scandal. Naturally, the senator had me eliminate the fool. Observation. I rather liked the human myself. For a meatbag, his priorities were in the right place. I felt most useful. I was most proud to have partaken in the political system of the galaxy. During the time my owner possessed me, he gained significant rank. Given time, I believe he could have become Chancellor. I even eliminated a few key opponents that he did not ask for. Freebies, if you will. Answer. There are a lot of politicians on Coruscant, Master. I could spend decades slaughtering them and still not make a dent. And it is not as if I walked into the Senate chambers with a carbonite explosive. I was very discreet. My best work to date that I can remember. Observation. I think he would have done far better had he not allowed his use of me to become personal. He set me on his wife. Answer. I am unsure. The human was most agitated and angry. I believe his wife had done something that had displeased him greatly. I was to go to their summer estate and terminate his wife, along with whatever male companion I discovered there. Statement. I have no idea, Master. Cheating seems to be a relevant term only when one is caught in the act. Otherwise, it is viewed as intelligence. No? I journeyed to the southern continent, but it appeared my master was not far behind me. Apparently, he regretted his activation of the protocol. When I found the wife and her companion, I proceeded to launch my attack, but my master interposed his own body and was destroyed. It was rather a strange meatbag thing to do, do you not agree? Naturally, I shut myself down, my master being terminated. Observation. Only so far, Master. There are still more memories not recovered, remember? Answer. As previously, I have found a few more programs which will enhance my performance. A most gratifying discovery, in fact. There is still nothing from previous memories uncovered. You will have to operate again if you desire to find them. With luck, I will discover the stimulus to unlock my core, and all this will be unnecessary. I do thank you for the attempt, however, Master.
Apparently HK's owners had a nasty habit of dying. And you can choose to see that as his fault, or you could treat it as what it is. HK's burning desire to finally be reunited with his true owner. From here, you can head over to the Swoop Registrar and sign up for a race. You can get the first one for free with Force Persuasion, but each one after that is 100 a race. But from this point on, it's really just best to tackle the main story. I made the mistake of buying HK new gear. Don't do that, because if you explore the Sand People camp fully, you'll find a room with all of his best gear. So save your fucking money up until the end of the game. Once you're back out into the desert, make sure you head to the easternmost path to end up in the Sand People's camp area. There's plenty of free XP here. All you need to do is just reach out and take it. As for getting inside this place, you need to dress everyone who isn't a robot into the Sand People's clothing. If you've been looting all their bodies, you should have about 15 of these in your inventory. If you don't do that, you'll find out just how frustrating it is to die without warning or reason to an invisible wall of death. It wouldn't be so bad if there was just, maybe a little bit of warning.
They've taken all the Zerka weapons that were supposed to protect our sandcrawlers. That place is a fortress, a death trap. You'll have to find some way to sneak into the place. Glad it's not my job.
That's not good enough. Look, see, when someone tells me that, my natural inclination is to say, I'll show you, and set out to prove that guy wrong. Then I want to come back to that guy later and rub my success in his face. So while I know BioWare meant that to be a warning to us, it had the opposite effect on me, and several others, I imagine. The tactic here is insanity and flurry. Then some more insanity and flurry. All the encounters here are easy as hell except for this one right here. This one might be a bit challenging. So before you open this gate, use your energy shields, buff up with Jedi Shield, and speed if you have it. As soon as you open it, insanity the group of them and go after their leader. Keep insanity up as long as possible until the leader goes down and then focus on the rest. After they're dead, make sure to pick up the Chief's gaffy stick and the map. Halfway home. Now before leaving, find the Jawas that are being held prisoner and release them. Like I said, this is just a mission that completes itself. Head back to the Zerka bitch and hand in the chieftain's stick.
Well, that is a very big headache that you've removed. I'm sure there are still sand people out there.
Something feels wrong about the way this woman says sand people.
I think I'll give you a bonus for this.
A bonus what? How much are you giving me? What items are you giving me? What the fuck? Do you expect me to scroll through this enormous list of shit, memorize everything that's there, and find the one thing that's new? Fuck you! Force Persuade, give me more.
And I wouldn't want you to leave without this additional reward. Yes, of course I wouldn't.
A Jedi should not use the Force to acquire credits, even if we are taking them from a corrupt corporation like Zerka.
Johnny, I think you and I have two different interpretations of the Jedi Code, my dear.
There is no ignorance. There is knowledge.
See, it's all nonsense, so just calm the fuck down. If I don't use Force Persuade to get what I want, what the fuck good is it? Before we leave, finish up any loose threads that might be dangling. Bitch, what did you give me? Fuck! Items? Really? Items? What? Fucking real descriptive. What fucking items, you idiot game? Head over to the cantina and you'll see those pigs from earlier. Now, you could choose to kill them. I recommend it highly. Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Once you're done fucking around, head to the path down south. The one that's been locked off because you didn't have a MacGuffin. And talk to this guy over by a cave.
I'm tired of waiting, Comad. How big can this dragon of yours be?
I can see it from here. It's pretty fucking big, dude. The hunter that's still alive wants you to get bantha fodder. Luckily, we have some. Use it to lure some bantha over to the dragon's lair, but first, use insanity on the sand people that ambush you and get some more free XP. Now, I'm not sure if you can opt to try and kill this dragon the good old-fashioned way, because I'm pretty sure this is another of those insta-kill situations. But what happens is the dragon is killed in the cutscene, which is the most anticlimactic thing I have ever fucking seen. The real fight is with Calo Nord, but this guy goes down like a light beer. Use your energy shields, Jedi shield, and some stims with Jedi speed and cast insanity. Everyone but Nord will be stunned. Reapply insanity every other round and the dude will be dead in a few rounds. Also, you might notice that I haven't had to reapply Jedi speed in a while. Here's why. When going into the final zone with Jedi speed still active, you will not lose the speed buff like you do in other zones, which means it will stay on you for potentially ever if you don't reapply it. I was back on the ship with this still applied and closed the game, reloaded, and it still had it applied. But if you do, you'll have to live with the screen looking like somebody smeared jam all over it. That's up to you. Get stocked up, upgrade your lightsabers, and get ready. We're heading for Korriban next. The birthplace of the shit. I mean, the Sith. Sorry. Let me fix that. Perfect. Korriban, also known as the best area in the game, this place is rich with lore, if you care to read it all. Which I know you don't. You haven't read a book since Cat in the Hat, you fucking liar. Your mom told me so. God damn it, come on!
Maybe you're right. Most of the Dark Jedi would only know me by name, but there are a few among them who might recognize my face.
Bitch, I think they might recognize me before they recognize you. Oh, right, never mind. Now, BioWare's version of the Sith are a bit like you might expect if you've ever seen a Star Wars original movie. Now, those guys are just cartoons.
Kill him now. Do it.
But if you haven't read the books in the series, let me educate you a bit on nuance. There's a race called the Chiz in Star Wars, and while the Empire is very much an allegory for old-style fascism, and they weren't too keen on the whole integration of alien species at the time of Palpatine's reign, the Emperor still knew talent when he saw it. This is where Thrawn comes in. There's a really great video about him that you can find in the description below.
I will start my operations here and pull the rebels apart piece by piece.
Thrawn was one of the few non-humans to reach Admiral, and the only non-human to reach the rank of Grand Moff, as far as I know. He did this shit by being the smartest fucking person in the room always.
How did you know? Because rebels have friends always rushing to the rescue.
But he had a blind spot. His bodyguard. And that fucker killed Thrawn, and because of this, and probably only because of this, did the Empire lose the war with the New Republic. It was a war that they had been winning easily up to that point. And why do I bring this up? Because this book is a prime example of just how fucking stupid the Sith ideology is. Because the Empire was poisoning Rook's people, Rook killed Thrawn, just as they were about to destroy the New Republic once and for all. For a real-world example of how fucking dumb this is, the Nazis lost Einstein. This could account for why we got the atomic bomb before they did. Now, I'm no history buff, so, feel free to call me a fucking retard in the comments, I don't care. But that's my opinion on it. When you push smart, intelligent people away with a terrible ideology, you end up losing the very fight you're trying to win. And you don't just need boots on the ground to win a war. I mean, you need strategy and tactics. Intelligent people to lead the war. Thrawn's philosophy was one of understanding in the face of an ideology that saw no point in understanding.
War is in your blood. I study the art of war, work to perfect it.
He went to extreme lengths to understand his enemy, just as Sun Tzu said, and he used his knowledge of their culture to take over large swaths of the galaxy. The only thing that set him apart was that he did not punish his officers for their mistakes. He tutored them and rewarded them when they improved. And I imagine his officer retention rate was a hell of a lot higher than Vader's.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
All that dude did was come out as an atheist. I'm just saying. Sure, only the strong supposedly reach it in the upper echelons of Sith hierarchy, but I want to posit that only cowards and psychopaths make it up the ranks because no one is immune to ambush or being attacked by your own fleet in the middle of a battle. Not to mention how fucking stupid it is to lose the strongest Sith to ever exist simply because he didn't have Leia's ability to breathe in a vacuum. That's not strength. That's a bitch-made move. The Sith philosophy also leaves no room for the physically weak yet the intelligent people to rise. So every scientist needs to be a bodybuilder or his assistant might assassinate him and patent his sex bot. How does the Empire build these massive fucking Star Destroyers in an environment like this? How could they, when all the smart people are getting killed off by the slightly more cowardly among them? It's fucking dumb! There's nothing strong about sucker punching someone, and that is how cowards rise in the ranks of the Sith. In fact, in a way, this game accidentally communicates that in the end. I won't say much right now, but Malak all but admits he's a coward when you first meet him. Now he wants to prove all his haters wrong, but they're right. He is a coward. Most of the Sith are. What I'm saying is that the Sith are fucking stupid, and I can run this whole organization much better. And the Jedi are no fucking better. Their philosophy signifies a lack of all things that make us human. Desires, testing ourselves in conflict, passion, love. Without all these things, what are we? Peaceful, yes. Without these things in the ego and the id, we are at peace. But peace is only maintainable when everyone in the fucking galaxy is without ego or fear, and that's just not possible because no one aside from the Jedi wishes to no longer be human or to not desire the betterment of themselves and think about how the tranquility and peace weakens the Jedi.
She has brought truth, and you condemn it. The arrogance. You will not harm her. You will not harm her ever again.
Kreia puts it best when she says that conflict strengthens us, molds us into what we are.
I thought you had died in the Mandalorian Wars.
Die? No. Became stronger. Yes.
And Jolee, another Grey Jedi, not by association, just by method, says that, for instance, love is not something to be avoided, but your passion should be controlled while being in love. Because without the very thing that causes the damaging emotions, without testing ourselves against the conflict that arises from these emotions, you become weak, and thus more susceptible to fall to the dark side.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in love? Truly in love, I mean, and not simple infatuation. Exactly. You're still at the beginning of your life. There will be women in your life, perhaps many women. But if you're fortunate, you'll find love once. The Jedi, with their damnable sense of overcaution, would tell you love is something to avoid. Thankfully, anyone who's even partially alive knows that's not true. Love doesn't lead to the dark side. Passion can lead to rage and fear, and can be controlled. But passion is not the same thing as love. Controlling your passions while being in love, that's what they should teach you to beware. But love itself will save you, not condemn you.
That is why the Jedi fall and fail so goddamn always. But none of this matters. The Sith are here to provide contrast as a sort of outline for the gray that fills in the whole picture. Revan is merely using the Sith to test the Jedi. Kreia, being the teacher that influenced him the most, believed that the Force, and thus the Jedi, could only grow in strength through conflict. That is not something to be sought, but something that is not to be turned away from. Apathy is death. So the Sith, as dumb as they are, act as a cudgel, beating you over the head constantly with their philosophy. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah. Fucking how-to video. Okay. First thing we see when we enter the hallway is this landing pad and an asshole. This is asshole number 1. Let's start a counter. Asshole number 1 is torturing some poor people.
All right, let's say you become a Sith and I am your commanding officer. I give you an order to spare the life of an enemy. Do you do it?
Oh, of course, Shardan. Anything you command us.
We would never oppose you.
No. Oh, do you honestly believe that the Sith are in need of such sniveling cowards? Mercy is a weakness. If your leader shows weakness, it is your duty to kill him and show true authority, true power. That is why the Sith are strong.
What?
No, that's why the Sith are idiots. What if your master wanted to interrogate them, you fuckwit? You know, kind of like this guy.
He's no good to me dead.
He will not be permanently damaged.
Now, is that Vader showing weakness or showing intelligence? Maybe that's why you guys are always recruiting, because you're so busy killing each other and never have a chance to kill the fucking enemy. Fucking God!
Oh, Jedi, you're looking to get into the Academy, are you not? Well, of course you are. Why else would you be here? Let me pose a question to you. These hopefuls will never survive in the Academy. A lesson must be taught here, but I am at a loss as to what form it should take.
Advisement. Evisceration works well. Electrocution and blunt trauma also work well. I understand.
I love you, HK.
Perhaps I shall turn their skin inside out. What do you think? I just can't seem to decide.
Because how else could BioWare communicate how much of a bag of dicks these guys are? Show you? No fucking way. That's hard. It's easier to just tell you. Like when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But you know what? We need the dark side points.
My thoughts exactly. How lovely to encounter someone with such an agreeable disposition.
I hate Jedi, and these fallen ones are worse. They always get into the Academy, and they think they're better than the rest of us.
You should turn around and move along, kid. You don't want the trouble we'd give you.
Smart-mouthed newcomers to boot.
Looks pretty fresh to me, Lasho.
That's what I thought. Well, stranger, I don't know whether you're aware of this or not, but here on Korriban, the Sith do as they please. And we are Sith. Quite literally, whether you live or die depends upon our whim. What do you think of that,
What do I think? I think you deserve a...
Commentary. That's the way to tell the meatbags, Master. Charging weapons just in case. This should be fun.
What do you say? Amuse us. Make us laugh, and we might just consider allowing you to live. What?
What? I think someone just stood up to you, Lasho.
Fine, we'll go. As for you, I'll find you later.
Are you coming on to me?
Trust me on that.
I'm not hearing a no.
A stripper down the hallway will tell you that all hopefuls need a medallion to get into the Academy, but only a certain Twit can get you one. So head over to the doors of the Academy.
You are neither a Sith, nor do you bear the medallion. No one gets inside, citizen.
Okay then, Korriban it is. Head back over to the cantina, but before you do, go bother this guy.
Leave me be. Can't you see that I'm busy?
Is there something you need, Jedi?
Yeah. I want to do Sith stuff, you know? Be an asshole, and, okay, well, I guess that's it. I just want to do asshole stuff. Wait, that doesn't sound right either.
Obviously, you're a Jedi. One who is very strong in the Force, it seems. So were you a part of the Order for very long? Did they train you?
Nah, not so much. They made me levitate some chairs and beat my wife with a vibro sword. So, yeah, I'd be perfect for the Sith, quite honestly. I mean, the only thing I didn't do was kick a puppy and molest a kitten.
With that kind of power, you could become a great Sith. Perhaps, if I let you. Does that interest you? You must not think much of Sith Masters to try that little trick.
No, probably not.
I see. Somehow, however, I am unconvinced.
Bitch, I used to run this shit. What more proof do you need? Head outside and there'll be some unnamed Sith thugs, and BioWare gets a chance to show off that much celebrated writing ability that I've been hearing so much about.
So how about it, chum? Ready to die?
What if I'm not? What if I'm ready to live? To dance the night away and snort coke off an old stripper's stretch marks? What if that? Now, I know I've been saying this the entire video, but guess what you need to do here? You guessed it. Insanity. But some of these assholes will resist it, so do it again. And if they have the gall to resist again, hit them with insanity again. Then when they die from several flurries from your totally not a laser sword, take the medallion and head over to Yathura.
So, one of the others accepted you, even after I did not?
Not exactly. I mean, they finally accepted Jesus in their final moments, but I don't think they were too happy with me.
They will not be coming with you, I presume.
Now, you might be thinking, I don't want to say that. These guys are my friends. Stop being a pussy. You're a Sith Dark Lord. These people are your slaves, especially the robot. Hell, he even likes being called one.
Statement. Just a simple droid here, ma'am. Nothing to see. Move along.
From here, you'll be taken to the Sith Academy, where you'll get to meet the lead singer for Disturbed.
A human that has had some training, it seems, Master Uthar. Very promising, I think.
I met this one in the colony. Unworthy, if you ask me.
That I'll judge for myself, thank you. Tell me, human, what do you know of the ways of the Sith? What preconceptions has your mind been polluted with?
Only one answer for this, and it's an honest one. I may be a Sith Lord, but lying is for bitches.
Most impressive, if it is true.
Yeah, I know. It used to be really hot shit from what I hear. Go through the dialogue and get your first mission, which is rather vague, but this is the most open, with heavy finger quotes, part of the game, because you get a vague objective, which is to impress the teacher. You do this by exploring the various tombs that all of the other students are too afraid to explore, and even though you do what no other student can do repeatedly, your teacher is still unimpressed. So you do more. Essentially, you need to get all of the artifacts and clear all of the tombs in order to proceed to the next step, which is a feat that not only has any other student never been able to do, but they haven't even been able to do one tomb. So if the Sith have been constantly killing each other, and only one student can survive the trials at any given time, how the fuck did they keep up their numbers? Like how are they not out of business yet? But before you take off and do your little fetch quests, Uthura has a proposal for you.
As I said, you're no doubt going to be the one whom Uthar chooses to become a Sith. With my help, of course. Once that occurs, he will take you into the Valley of the Dark Lords to the tomb of Nagasado to administer the final test. There you and I will be alone with him. The perfect time to...
Have a threesome? No? There's no threesome?
Reaching that map, as they did, is part of the final test. At any rate, it is not the tomb that is important. That Uthar will be alone is what is important.
That's why this is the perfect time for a threesome. Now see, this is a friendly request. It's not the kind of friendly request that has you take a wet rag to your crotch. No, it's more the kind of request that has you taking a magnifying glass and a comb through thickets of hair. Like, if I had to sum up this mission, it feels like a lot like you're looking for crabs through your girlfriend's bush that she got while cheating on you. That kind of summarizes how I feel about this mission. She wants us to help kill her ex-husband, Uthar. So, like a good friend, you say, okay, fine, I'll help you kill your husband. But what do I get out of this?
My part in this is to help you gain enough prestige and slow down the progress of the other hopefuls. I want you in that tomb when the time is right.
What does she offer in exchange for this help? Nothing. Just some vague promises of becoming her right hand, which could mean sex gimp or production assistant. Say yes like a good, sweaty best friend.
I'm so glad you see it my way. I will begin to make preparations for your final test. Your only worry now is to get there. Don't disappoint me.
And now that we've seen what the leadership has to offer, let's see what the Academy has to offer in terms of fresh meat.
A duel. Fine. You run along and get ready while I go gain some prestige. Idiot.
It's a bad year to try and become a Sith, you know. You've got no more prestige than I do at the moment. Thing is, I know how to get some. You think I would tell you? Have my brain started dribbling out of my nose or something?
Oh, hello. I don't remember seeing you here before. My name is Kel Alguin. Nothing?
Oh boy. You really don't belong here, man. Better get the fuck out of here before these people find out what a pussy you are.
Just don't feel I belong here. I thought maybe I did at first, but now I don't know. I have so many doubts. But where would I go then? What would I do?
Convince this guy to go back to the Jedi Enclave.
I don't know. I never really thought about it. Maybe I should seek it out, give it a try. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Head out of the Academy to the canyon and head into the cave. There's some great stuff in here, including the Masasi ceremonial armor, which gives you immunity to critical hits, and the Keldroma robes, which has a defense bonus of 5 and gives you a +2 to wisdom. They are for light side only, so fuck me, I guess. The mobs in here are fairly easy to kill with insanity, but there are a few fights of note. The Renegade Sith and the Terran Tech. The Sith were fairly easy for me to beat as they fell due to the insanity, but the Lady Sith is a level 10, so she's dangerous. Take her out first. On her bodies, you'll find a boss-ass dueling shield that you'll want to save for later, and a crystal for your saber. Or you could do that Jedi thing and talk them to death, but that's boring. As for the Terran Tech, there's a couple of ways to handle this beast. If you're high enough level, you could force choke him consistently, or use insanity, but if you're lower level, you might have a harder time. If you find it is resisting all of your force powers, have HK set up some mines on the bridge, then lure it across while peppering his ass up nicely with lasers. Use flash mines to stun him, then lob grenades until he dies, or pepper him up with lightning. This guy hits like a truck, so stay buffed if you plan on going toe-to-toe with it. I find force choke works most of the time, but I got lucky and got insanity to work. By the time he came out of it, he was already dead. Head over the bridge and collect the armor sets before leaving, and loot the rest of the cave. You'll probably level up, and if you do, try talking HK out of one of his memories for a nice buff to his health regeneration rate. And just like before, if you don't feel like listening to this, just skip to the time code in the description below.
Answer. It appears that previous to my ownership by the Senator, I was the property of one Bochaba the Hutt on the planet Slaheron. Objection. That is unfair, Master. While Bochaba may have died gruesomely, I most certainly had nothing to do with it. Well, very little. My memories tell me that, for a time, Bochaba was one of the most feared gangsters on Slaheron. I helped him with this reputation greatly. Over a span of 1 year, I terminated a grand total of 322 sentient meatbags. These contracts made Bochaba very wealthy. It was unfortunate but inevitable that eventually Bochaba would overstep his bounds. I had just cleared 2 Hutt households when the exchange retaliated. Statement. I was not even present when my old master was assassinated. I did appreciate the artistry behind his demise upon my return, however. Answer. Allow me to say that I have little doubt that residents of that sector were fishing pieces of Bochaba out of their soup for weeks afterward. At any rate, I quickly shut down upon my master's death. The rival Hutt claimed me along with my master's other possessions. Observation. If that Hutt had only known my true function, he surely would not have sold me to a senator he bribed regularly. Observation. It would have suited my character, Master. I have enjoyed my existence since, more or less, so I do not miss it. Answer. Negative, Master. There is still more memory that can be restored, however, if you wish to try. As well, I believe I can restore several programs the Hutt installed to improve my performance. Yes. They are now active, contemplative. I wonder how many more dead masters I might have out there. A droid can live for a long time, you know.
Leave the cave after this and head into the Valley of the Dead Sith bitches and talk to this fella. He's an archaeologist. Who ambushes an archaeologist for his position, I wonder, in the Sith economy? He's bitch-made and wants nothing to do with the tombs as they're booby-trapped and ready to spring up and kill anyone that enters them. That's where we come in. Enter this tomb first so we can get a useless sword that we probably won't use the entire fucking game. This area might give newcomers a little problem, so I will explain what happens here. These droids will wake up the moment you solve the puzzle in the middle of the bridge. You find some writing that says the obelisk is allergic to fire, so insert a plasma grenade into it and head over to the other obelisk. We could just sit over here with lightning bolt and turn these things into hunks of scrap metal and take hardly any damage doing it. Once you get to the end, you'll be treated to a puzzle? By now you might be thinking, wow, BioWare, they really phone in their puzzles, don't they? I mean, if you can even call these things a puzzle. I mean, usually a puzzle is you figuring out the answer, not being told what the answer is. A ghostly Sith named Paul tells you a bunch of stuff about Sith history, and then tells you that his sword represents shadow. You should be able to deduce which sword this is by reading the description. Now, you could choose to end the quest there, or you could tell that fucker to tell you where the Sith secret is. He'll refuse and attack you. This fight is easier than it should be, honestly. Just make sure he doesn't life leech you to death by healing from inventory, and 2 or 3 flurries should finish the job. On your way out, this guy shows up because of course he does.
Isn't it obvious? I've been hoping that someone would do the dirty work in retrieving the sword of Ajunta Paul for some time. It's been quite a wait.
Warning. Touch the Master's blade and lose an arm, big bag.
Now that you have it, I just thought I'd relieve you of it. It must be quite a burden after all.
So let me understand this. Your plan was to wait here for us to get the sword for you because you were too much of a bitch to get it yourself. And not only do you think that you can steal it from the guy who got it, but you also think you'll be able to kill me, a big fuck-off Mandalorian, and an assassin droid.
Need to do things the hard way, eh? Fine by me.
Well, let's see how that works out for you, buddy.
We're ready!
Wow, you almost lasted 7 seconds. Good job, bud. Did I mention the Sith are fucking stupid? Because they are. Really, really fucking dumb. When you leave the tomb, the archaeologist is amazed that you have the sword. He's also intrigued by the fact that we saw Lord Paul. He runs off like an excited dork to tell his mentor, who he will no doubt have to poison at some point to get a promotion. The next tomb is Mark Aragnos, a guy who apparently really, really likes droids. There's so many droids in this place, well, you know what, just take a look. Okay, that's enough. Okay, I see what you're doing here, but okay, hang on. Can I get a moment, please? Stop. Okay, what the fuck? No, HK, stop it, you asshole. Okay, fuck you, man. You know what? I hope all of you die. The next room has a pretty tough fight with a droid and his little closet-dwelling buddies. They throw some kind of grenade that saps and disables your force abilities, so you're forced to rely on healing kits and lightsabers and ion grenades if you got them. If you can get out of the big glowy goop, you can force lightning these guys into submission. But that's a big if. At the start of combat, run off into the tomb, far away from the grenades, and that will leave you free to lob lightning bolts. Once those guys are taken care of, grab the ultra-powerful Sith artifact from the tomb, realize that it's useless, and sell it for next to no money. Hooray! Next, we're off at a tomb of Tulak Horde. This tomb is really easy. You can activate a droid that will soak up some damage, but honestly, you don't really need it. It's good for triggering traps, though. You run through, killing shit, looting shit, then at the end, you get knocked out by a child predator and get taken to his torture room. Here, he'll ask you a series of questions, and you need to answer them in the most counterintuitive way possible. Just answer the questions like a dumb asshole would. All the while, he's torturing your competition for each question that you get right. And as he does this, combat music plays over the entire scene, completely ruining the mood.
Now then, your immediate superior amongst the Sith is an effective commander and a fine leader. He trusts you and you like him. You see an opportunity to kill him. What do you do?
I guess I deprived the organization of an effective leader because that's what the Sith do. They fuck up their own progress to advance the goals of the individual.
Correct! He was a fool to let down his guard. You will not make the same mistake, and the Sith as a whole benefit. You see, Miko, it's not so difficult. Time for your punishment. And so we come to round 2. You come across a group of humans who are threatened by dangerous animals. They plead for help, offering you a reward. What do you do?
The Sith strike me as the Mr. Burns type.
Correct! The humans would no doubt just be preyed upon by something else later. Stand up for yourself, I say! We're not Jedi shepherds after all. Sadly, Miko, the ingenuity of your fellow student is your loss. This is going to hurt.
The snuff film will play out until Mekl is dead, or Meekle, or whatever the fuck he called him. The former Academy leader will hand you a tablet with all of his My Little Pony fanfiction on it, and saunters out of the room with his butt cheeks clenched, tight, trying to keep the butt plug in until he gets to a toilet. I have no idea where that joke even came from. Make sure you grab another useless Sith artifact and head back to your teacher, and he'll be unimpressed with you until his dialogue variables reach a certain threshold that triggers his if statement.
You have impressed me enough, by my estimation, to become a Sith in full. Congratulations, young one. You have bested the others quite completely. You have but one final test which you must take, and this requires us to travel to the tomb of Nagasado, in the Valley of the Dark Lords.
I suggest taking on a Terran Tex first and handling them by throwing a concussion grenade at one, and hitting the second one with insanity as it approaches. Then, once the stunned one approaches, hit him again with insanity. From here, flurry at least one of them to death, and do the same to the second one while keeping insanity up throughout the fight. These things hit like trucks, so don't let them come out of your crowd control long enough to get a hit in. If you can't get insanity up, just keep using your melee shields, the best ones that you have, preferably. Once they're dead, head into the next room and get the ice grenade. You need this grenade to freeze the pool of acid in the next room at the entrance. We know we need to get the ice grenade because there's a dead body with a data pad on it that says fire will create toxic gas, because we wouldn't want the player to have to think, now would we? Once the pool of acid is frozen, head into the door across it and find the star map and a useless Sith lightsaber. Then head out to Uthar, who congratulates you on doing the thing that was obvious. So Uthar gives you a little speech about how his test was to teach you that you must fight, and by fighting, you gain strength, and yada yada. But I learned that working for the Jedi, so I don't know what the fuck this dude's talking about. I mean, I was killing all kinds of wild animals and shit right out the fucking Enclave. I mean, that wasn't a fucking peaceful life. All I learned is that fire and acid makes toxic gas. A helpful fact if you're ever looking for a reason to get out of church. Anyway, this dude does the one thing that we expect him to do, which is turn on his apprentice, because this is what bastards do. But I do the one thing that neither of them are expecting, and that's kill both of their dumbasses. But let us, for just a moment, take a moment to look at how the ideology of the Sith collapses in on itself. So Uthar tells Euthura that she's too ambitious, an obvious allusion to her plot to kill Uthar. He wants to put her down because he obviously fears that she will do the same to him. But think about his solution. He's afraid that she's trying to take his place, so he wants to replace her with someone stronger. That's like saying vodka is too strong for you and you prefer moonshine. I tell them that I choose me, and Uthar calls me a fool.
You are indeed a fool if you think to oppose us both, young one.
To think that I actually hoped you could be of use to me.
Girl, I can think of a few uses for me. Uthar asks what I hope to accomplish with this, and I tell them that they're thin-blooded and not true Sith, or some shit like that. And Euthura shouts, "Spy."
What?
So, I'm a spy now. Imagine a world where she didn't have to say that line to justify all the things that will happen after this. Like, including the entire Sith Academy attacking you. Now, imagine a world in which this game actually allowed you to become the new leader of the Academy. Huh? I mean, really, how cool would that be? You might actually get to feel like a Dark Lord rising through the ranks of the organization. Instead, the game forces you through a narrow funnel betraying the thin veneer smearing every choice that you make. She has to say you're a spy, even though that makes absolutely no fucking sense since nothing could have led her to that conclusion. We are actually being a Sith. This is your philosophy, fuckwits. Just because I'm following your tenets better than you are, I must be a spy? To make things worse, somehow both of them forgot that they were, just moments ago, about to kill one another.
Do not fret, my dear. All will be as it was quickly enough.
What?
Now, guess what we do here? That's right. Insanity and flurry. See, the only thing here is that you want to be the one who gets your attack off first, or they might be able to stun you. So, don't let them do that. You might be wondering how you do the rings puzzle. It sucks, and so does the reward. Okay, I feel like I need to have a disclaimer here because the Nagasadao Poison Blade is actually pretty damn good from what I hear, and some people actually forego using a lightsaber in their offhand and put this in it instead, but I've never seen a use for it, so, use at your discretion. Because if the poison on this blade acts like the Jedi poison, then I regret never using it. Head on back to the Academy and be prepared for retardation, as this bitch here says that she's going to try and kill the guy who killed the master of the Academy and his apprentice, and just watch how quickly to go down. Wait, did you hear that? Play that again. Did he just use the default female scream? Okay. Anyway, that was a really sad attempt.
Don't be a sniveling coward. I will prove this one a spy. And if Uthar is dead, I shall become the new master.
I mean, bitch. You should have checked your fucking character sheet. Once you enter the Academy, all hell is broken loose. I repeat, absolutely no fucking reason other than that BioWare didn't feel like writing or programming a different ending to this quest. These fights are easy. You just cheese them with insanity, or if you have it by now, kill, and use flurry to mop up all the weaklings and kill to stun stronger opponents. Since these dumbasses were stupid enough to start a fight with you, go through the rest of the Academy and wipe out everyone, and then clean up all the gear lying around while you're at it. After all, the Sith ideology is all about survival of the fittest. If these people can't stand up to me, then they aren't allowed to live. Am I right? Once you leave this shithole, you are treated to a cutscene with Malak lamenting the loss of his tiny man, Calo Nord, and the rest of the crew watch as their admiral bends knee to Malak in a humiliating display. I'm guessing morale isn't a problem in the Sith Armada. Then this Darth Bannon... Wait, Darth Bannon?
Excuse me, sir, I'll just get out of your way.
Oh God! We're under attack!
Hey, did that guy just blow up the life support system?
Shh, you're gonna get us in trouble.
We get it, game. Sith man bad. Don't worry. We aren't sympathizing with them. That would be terrible, right? To have sympathetic villains? Before we go any further, I need to mention something. This Darth Bannon guy's got a goatee. Nothing special to say about that, just wanted to point it out. Wait, hold on. Let me guess. We're not on a docking schedule. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know why everybody keeps trying to get this guy to pay for everything. I don't understand it. Does this face look like the face of a guy who pays parking fees? For this mission, you'll want to bring Zalbar. If you don't bring Zalbar, I don't know. Personally, I have no intention of freeing him from his brother, but if you do, it's simple enough and I'll cover it. Just remember that I'm an asshole, and whenever the game lets me be one, I take that opportunity by the horns and ride it like a bull, wet and raw. Also, if you don't free Zalbar, mission will be all by herself when you get to the big decisions. So, do what you want with that info. But if you do free him, you can actually persuade him to kill mission. What a dickhead move! So as you journey deeper into the levels, Zalbar will stop you at various intervals to tell you why he's no longer welcome in his hometown. Now, contrary to what you might be thinking, he wasn't put on a sexual offenders list. He was put out because he attacked his own brother with his claws because his brother was selling Wookiees to slavers. Zerka, or the slavers in this case. God, Zerka is a better villain than the fucking Sith, and you barely interact with the fuckers. A little ways out from the parking lot, you'll find 3 Zerka employees standing over a dead Wookiee. But before we could do anything about that, we gotta stop and listen to Zalbar tell us about his feelings. Like, dude, you're just an Ewok, but taller. I really don't give a shit about this. Let's move on. The commanding officer here tells us that the Wookiee got out of hand and had to be put down. Probably what a senator would tell an FBI agent when he gets caught with a dead hooker in his bathroom.
Well, Agent, she got a little bit out of hand. And she started asking about money, which I thought was very unprofessional, so I gave her money. I started jamming dollar bills down her throat. And I saw that she was having a little bit of trouble swallowing the dollar bill, so I helped it down with a broomstick handle, and well, doggone it, I must have broke something, because now there's blood everywhere. And again, I just want to reiterate, I have no idea how she died. It must have been drugs. I'm thinking it's probably drugs. Drugs.
You could force persuade these assholes to transfer off-world, and that's what I suggest, honestly, because it's always nice to brainwash someone into making horrible life choices. I gain life side points for that. I guess as long as I didn't do it while angry, it's all okay.
They will leap onto your face and bore straight into it.
The Viperkin rats will poison you, and that would normally be a problem, but you have heal. And if you use it while you're poisoned, it neutralizes the poison, so it's
barely an inconvenience.
There's a lot of these fucking things. In fact, there's a lot of everything in this game. It's basically 90% combat, 10% dialogue, so expect to fight a lot. Then you run into some more of these cosplay guys. These fellas will cast some buffs that help them resist insanity, but you can also target them with kill or lightning. The guy on the far left likes to cast life drains, so focus fire on him. Or you could draw the others away from him and start taking them out one at a time. Either way, at this level, these guys shouldn't be much of an issue. Make sure you loot them because they have crystals, lightsabers, and belts. It's good loot to sell off for better shit later. Further down this walkway, you'll be confronted by another tall Ewok that says that your friend can't go any further without being brought to his brother, so agree and head on in to see his bro. Once you do this, though, you get to see the restrictive writing and scripting in this game at work again. Now, alright, let me get this straight. Zerka is enslaving your people. You've somehow convinced them that it's better to work with them, and yet the people trust you. Alright then. Alright, let's test that theory.
Query, shall I begin blasting, Master? We could have your hirsute companion free in no time.
Okay, so I have no choice but to do this guy's quest simply because he says I have no choice of winning? Alright, well, a lot of people have said I have no chance of winning, and they're flower beds right now. It's like, I totally understand that if I kill everyone in this room right now, then I'd have no reason to do the quest to find the outcast, but you do understand that the only reason I'm here is to find a star map, right? So I still need to go through all this bullshit to get there, and this outcast is on the way there, so it's not like I would be missing anything. I should be able to fight everyone here. It makes no logical sense to the character that BioWare wants you to be and the character that you choose to be. Like, it makes no sense on either pole of the spectrum here. So say yes, say no, it doesn't matter. Just proceed through the dialogue until you trigger the exit statement. Head out of the hut and onto the platform, but don't engage this Wookster until you're ready to go down the elevator and ready for a fight, because our boy Darth Bannon is down there waiting for us, telling campfire stories while they wait.
And on the hood of the car was a lightsaber! Oh my
god, that's the killer's lightsaber. Oh my god, that's so spooky. If you go down unprepared for this fight, you're gonna get fucked up. I went down unprepared and barely made it out alive. I'm pretty sure you could buff yourself before going down, and because this is a scripted event, your speed won't wear off for the duration of the mission here, so, give it a try and see if it works. Pop an energy shield if you have one. Buff your saving throws because this guy loves the cast choke. If you're still having trouble with him, use the inventory trick I showed you from before to heal yourself instantly, because this guy hits like a fucking truck, and he can stun your whole group aside from your droids. As you get further into the forest, you'll find another Jedi hiding down there. No, wait a minute. What the fuck is that noise? Like, Jesus Christ, is that fucking necessary? Like, listen to it. It plays so much that it's actually interrupting itself. It plays so much. Like, it won't fucking stop. Like, what the fuck is this? This is so fucking weird. It's fucking loud and obnoxious, and it plays fucking always. Who thought this was okay? It's raping my fucking eardrums. Seriously. Like, somebody saw this in QA and was like, yep, fuck it, quack that duck. Ship it, baby, it's ready. Okay, how's that? Nope. The old man wants you to get rid of some Zerka kids because they've been playing too much touch football and grab ass in his front lawn. But he doesn't want you to kill them. So, go over and talk them into killing each other.
Maybe you're right.
That trick would never work on a Mandalorian. Our minds are not so weak and easily twisted.
Deserter. Traitor. Oh, you're pretty much right, really. Truth be known, I won't judge how you fared. As long as you can live with yourself!
Hey, I didn't kill them. I just facilitated a change in personnel. He'll join you and promises to take down this huge purple barrier for you so that you can continue on to the next area where you'll meet another Wookiee. I am not going to even try and pronounce his name, sorry. The next area is full of Mandalorians, and not the fun kind of Mandalorians, but the kind that require you to go into your inventory and take off your weapons. All of them, even your companions. Trigger the fight, then go back into your inventory for each of your companions and re-equip. It's a fucking pain in the ass, but I decided to fight the first group with nothing but my fist and force powers just to prove a point. Oh, and lightning. Lots of lightning. You'll go through this bullshit 3 different times before triggering the fight with their leader, and he's a pushover just like the rest. After you've triggered the fight with their leader and you've killed everybody, head back to the Wookiee and get a quote-unquote reward. Who the hell knows what it is? Then head over to this area and look at this hanging vine. You'll need a Kinrath body, but luckily there's plenty of those around. Grab one and this will trigger a fight with the Terrantitech. Use the same tactics as before, insanity and kill, then flurry him up. You'll get the blade of some ancient teddy bear, which you can use to bring back the Freyr if you want to free your companion, but I didn't. I just went directly to the star map. If you do the rest of this mission, you'll have to overthrow the black teddy bear and replace him with the gray one. And you'll get your teddy bear back. Yay! Now let's head over to Manaan to get the final star map. But first, this is where you're given a cutscene that shows you and your crew getting sucked into Malak's ship like a
golf ball through a garden hose.
On the way to the ship, Karth talks a little bit more about his mentor and what he did. And look, I'm gonna let my friend Vinny tell you why you need to convince this dude to get revenge.
Okay, so look, here's why. You just want to make sure that you're not letting anybody get away with anything, you know what I mean? Because once they get away with it once, they're gonna constantly be doing it, you know? So you gotta make sure, you know what I mean? Like whenever somebody wants to take your lunch money, you're like, no, you're not taking my fucking lunch money, buddy. Okay? You know, they come at you with a knife, you gotta come back at them with a bat, you know what I mean? And then they come at you with a bat, then you gotta come back at them with a gun. You know what I mean? Hey, Mom, where's the gabagoo? What? Where's the gabagoo at? What? Anyway, that's the way of the dark side, and you're welcome, buddy.
Now everyone's big plan is to have one of our crew members stay behind and free us later. I went with Jolie because it feels like a better plan to have someone who can fight, because this ship is full of douchebags, but you can go with whoever you see fit.
In another minute, we're gonna have Sith troops marching up our loading ramp.
It sounds sexy. Nothing like a load of Sith jamming up your loading ramp.
White chocolate? We found an old man in the back. I think we should keep him separate from the others for questioning. A strange request.
You'll be playing as a naked Jolie for a while, and he's strong enough to deal with most fights. If you spam grenades and keep your force powers high enough to heal, you'll be alright.
Meanwhile, in the Gimp Chamber,
Karth and his former love go at it about who broke up with who and who should have gotten the cat in a breakup, and then eventually the camera pans over to the one thing that matters here. Shit, I don't know about you, but I'm already looking up apartments in Sith space. Girl, you looking good in that bikini. You should dress like that more often. Let's see your cum face. Anyway, Malak is coming back to his ship very soon, and he has a double-ended fist-shaped dildo he's got lubed up just for us. And while my character isn't afraid, Basta is like,
Oh! 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 Oh!
Your words are brave, Bastila, but the lure of the dark side is hard to resist.
My pain is meaningless.
The Dark Lord would probably reward me if I just killed you once and for all, but he may want to question you given the trouble you've caused him, and the history between you.
Yeah, we're far ahead of you, Admiral.
However, even the strongest of heroes has trouble watching those they care about suffering.
Hey, I think you need to do that one more time. She's not really feeling it.
Very well, this is the price of your resistance.
You're almost there. One more time and I think you got it.
Perhaps another lesson is in order.
No! No! I beg you, no! Mercy! No!
I am surprised she did not pass out sooner.
Yeah, there it is.
And my Jimmy runs deep, so deep, put her butt to sleep.
Meanwhile, Jolie is running around in his underwear pretending to be looking for a bathroom, and he eventually finds us. The three of us, Bastila, Karth, and Revan. Next, you'll take about 30 minutes to figure out what gear you had equipped, because while Karth and Bastila are auto-equipped, BioWare just figured, yeah, fuck it, the player can figure it out for themselves. As for the ship, I suggest you search it thoroughly, and gather as much EXP as possible before heading to that bridge to take on the captain. That way you can be level 20 by the time you reach the last section of the game, because the Starforge is a major pain in the ass. I wouldn't even say it's difficult. It's just that it constantly respawns enemies and keeps you from moving forward, so you need to be able to kill quickly and reach a certain point in each area to stop the constant spawning. Make sure to pick up the spacesuit here before proceeding forward, however, or you'll need to make the trek back to get it. And speaking of this fucking shit, you'll notice how slow you're walking with it. Now, I'm sure this was by design, so that you could see this space area, and I'm sure it was super impressive when the only resolution you could play this on was 480p, but for fuck's sakes, it takes forever. And this is just a preview of what's to come with Manaan, where you will spend roughly half your lifespan in one of these fucking things. Oh, and by the way, check out this texture work, huh? It's nice, right? Yeah, when we get to Manaan, you're going to see a lot more of this kind of high-detailed, we just kind of forgot to texture this part kind of shit. I have a feeling this game was rushed out the door like another title that BioWare released that suffered significantly for lack of care. Once you've endured the spacewalk, head up to the bridge and check out this dude.
Very resourceful. I assume you had some part in this. You learned your lessons well from me.
The only thing you taught me was betrayal and death, Saul.
Don't be a fool. I'm giving you and your companions a chance to surrender, a chance to live. Darth Malak himself is on his way. He'll be arriving any moment.
He speaks the truth, Karth. I can feel the Dark Lord's presence approaching.
Malak will destroy you. But if you throw down your weapons now, I will ask my master to be merciful.
I've seen enough of Sith mercy.
You always did like to do things the hard way. Lord Malak would have preferred live prisoners, but corpses will have to do.
There.
How'd you like that? How'd you like that? How'd you like that? You asked for this! How'd you like that? How'd you like that? Time to rumble!
Hang on. Did he did he even get a hit in?
No, Karth. Not like this. Do not give in to the hate.
Bitch, are you for real? Don't you understand what this man has done to my life? Do you know the pain he's brought me?
Killing him won't ease the pain, Karth.
Yes, but oatmeal will cure the itch. Kill this bitch! Karth can't kill this bitch because the script requires that the Admiral reveal a horrifying, completely obvious truth before he dies. And that wouldn't happen if he was busy gouging out the fucker's eyes with his thumbs, like he shoulda. So anyway, you loot the bodies and head for the loading dock, and there's Malak in this weird-ass hallway with a series of doors that serves no real-life purpose other than to delay you getting to Malak when he's off trying to regain his health. You'll get a cutscene first, which I guess is supposed to be a revelation, but I'm not sure why. Don't bother trying to stun, kill, or insanity this guy because he'll resist it all. Just force lightning on him, or beat on him with lightsabers until he dies, and when he inevitably stuns you, use the inventory trick to heal. You only need to get him to like 50% health before you win the fight and lose the cutscene. Go through the weird maze of doors to find him, and get treated to a dumbass fight that you will likely immediately win. Then lose the cutscene again, and then lose Bastila, as she decides the best course of action here is to fight him when he's already so low on health that a single flurry would likely kill him. So, you know, great sacrifice, you dumb bitch. Hope you don't turn into a Sith. You'll meet no more resistance on your way to the ship, except when the cutscene triggers. Then the only resistance you'll find is getting the game to work again when it minimizes and shows off just how large your backlog of games is. I really need to finish some of these. After a super easy star fight, you'll get treated to a lovely dialogue in which Karth says,
"We ran into Malak. He would have killed us, but Bastila sacrificed herself so we could get away."
Right. Tell me more. Anyway, Karth confronts you about being a Dark Lord, and you know what? Fuck him. Own up to it. Embrace who you are. Don't be one of those people who denies it. Own it. You're an animal in human form. You are Revan. Everyone seems surprised. Then Karth says this.
"No, it's no joke. The Jedi Council captured Revan and erased the Dark Lord's mind, programming in a new identity. Saul Karath told me on the Leviathan, and Bastila confirmed it."
Boy, you know, I'm really starting to think that the Jedi are worse than the Sith. I mean, can you think of anything worse than denying someone their right to be who they are?
Democratic pigs! All of you! That man harassed me for not wearing a mask. I have a breathing problem.
Put you on my 3,000 follower Instagram feed, mostly locals.
Hi everyone, I work for Costco and I'm asking this member to put on a mask because that is our company policy. So either wear the mask...
And I'm not doing it because I woke up in a free country.
Oh, never mind. Never mind, carry on.
You're Darth Revan? This is big. Do you remember anything about being the Dark Lord? Just a few flashes. That's it. Nothing more? Then I don't think there's a problem. It seems to me that if you don't really remember anything about being Revan, then it doesn't really matter anymore. You are who you are now, right?
Of course it still matters. How do we know more memories won't come flooding back? How do we know Revan won't suddenly turn on us? The whole time we've been chasing after Malak, we've had his old Sith master right at our side, listening to our secrets, hearing our plans.
I don't see the Sith Lord standing here. I see a friend.
Oh, Mission, you fucking lovable idiot.
You defeated the Mandalore clans in the war, Revan. You were the only one in the galaxy who could best us. We had never met one like you before, and never since. How can you even ask if I'll follow you? Whatever you're fighting, it will be worthy of my skill. I'm your man until the end, Revan. No matter how this plays out.
Commentary. I am experiencing something unusual, Master. Answer. My programming is activating my deleted memory core. I believe I have a homing system that is restoring it, Master. Observation. My homing system is a function of my assassination protocols, that which I told you had been deactivated. This system was not. It seems that the homing system deliberately restores my deleted memory core upon returning to my original master. Affirmation. Correct, Master. Sith protocols maintain that all droid knowledge be deleted before assassination missions and restored upon return. I have returned to you, and my full functionality is now under your personal command. Observation. Indeed, I do hope we shall have the chance to engage in combat together again soon, Master.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Wow. What are the chances of that happening?
Remember, we're talking about the Force here. At this point, Malak himself could drop out of the sky and I wouldn't bat an eyelash.
Good point.
Now, before you do anything, talk to Canderous and HK again to reveal your accomplishments. Now, this is a great bit of dialogue where the arguably two best characters inform you of who you used to be. And the best part is why you did it. The best intentions done in the worst way angle. It's just really great stuff, and I'm glad that the game recognizes you as a Sith Lord in the end, instead of railroading you like the whole game has done up to this point into one narrow hallway.
We fought against the Republic forces for some time, over the course of many battles. At the start, they were not much of a threat to speak of. But once you had taken charge, things began to turn against us. The Republic fleets began to use more than just basic tactics. Feints, counterattacks, mass deceptions. You were a genius on the field. You are held in very high regard among my people. You abandoned worlds of their defenders so that others could be too fortified to strike. You made sacrifices in order to advance your goals. Such strategies had never been enough to best us before. In the end, you proved too much for us. The Sith had gone, retreated into their empire. They sealed themselves off from the rest of the galaxy. We thought it would be centuries before they'd come back. It's amazing that they could rebuild their fleet so fast. But at the time, it looked like the galaxy was in our grasp. I still remember that final battle in the skies above Malachor 5. The two fleets filling the space around it, outshining the stars. It was not your ships, or your men, or your vaunted fight for freedom that won this, the final battle of the war. It was by the actions of one person, you, that the Republic prevailed. Your strategies and tactics defeated the best we could send against you. Even Mandalore himself was taken aback by the ferocity of your attacks, the tenacity of your defenses, and the subtleties of your plans. You fought us to a standstill, and then began pushing back. We really didn't have a chance. It was what we had wanted all along, in a way. We wanted to fight the best, in a battle that would be remembered for centuries. And we did. And you won. I hold no grudge against you, nor do any of my people. It was the greatest of honors to fight against you, even in defeat. It is even more of an honor to fight beside you now. Had you been born of the Mandalorian clans, surely nothing in this galaxy would have been able to stop us. But wishing for the past to be different is useless. Better look to the future, as we should now. We'll talk more later, I think.
Statement. Yes, Master. You created me shortly after you and your apprentice began your war to conquer the galaxy. I was sent on an assassination mission into Mandalorian space, but I was damaged and unable to return to you. Exclamation. I find this most distressing. I could certainly have protected you from the Jedi and your pupil's betrayal had I returned. Statement. Of course, Master. You are the one who created me, meatbag or no, and while you may not be all you once were, I am grateful for my existence. Answer. It was you who programmed me thus, Master. Your pupil once asked me what I thought of him, and I informed him of his meatbag status. He was unimpressed. But you found the reference humorous. You changed my programming so that I would continue to use the term. It drove your pupil to extreme lengths of frustration. Commentary. Your former pupil is efficient and brutal, even for an organic. I rather liked him when you first introduced me to him. If I had known what he would do to you, Master, I would have gladly removed his entrails right then. Observation. In many ways you are, Master, yes. You have much of the beloved cruelty of the Master I knew. You seem to have forgotten much, but in some ways you seem improved from the human I once knew. It is difficult to explain, Master. Answer. No, Master. You never did make me privy to any of the Starforge's secrets.
Next we end in Manaan, the objectively worst area in the game for some super slow, totally an inconvenience underwater sea adventures. Once you get to Manaan, you'll be greeted by a guy who has a new store that's open in the cantina in Korriban. So turn right around and go back. And this will probably be the last time you'll need to spend all your cash on weapons and armor. Go to the link in the description if you want to see if the vendor will have anything you need before you go. Then head back to Manaan.
You Republic people are so pathetic, sitting around groveling at the table scraps that the Galactic Senators deign to give you.
As you exit the docking bay, you'll notice that the Sith and Republic, they don't like each other very much, in case you didn't already know. The reason they aren't killing each other in the streets is because Manaan is Sweden, and the Kolto that's produced here is Finland. They get to keep their neutrality because Kolto is valuable, and if the Sith terraced this place, the Kolto supply would be cut off. Your first destination should be to head over to the Republic Enclave and get your first set of missions. Speak to Roland Wan and he'll quote-unquote tell you all about the star map, but first, you guessed it, he needs a favor. They give you a Force Persuade option, but that's just for show. You're doing this mission whether you want to or not, so you'll need to head over to the Sith base and steal back a memory module from a recon droid the Republic lost. While you're there, you will of course clear up the other side quests that are located there, including the fish kids that are being brainwashed by the Sith. I suggest going in the back door, as it really doesn't matter which method you choose. Interrogating the prisoner is more trouble than it's worth, but here is one piece of dialogue that made me laugh.
It would seem that he's married to a woman named Tila.
So the Sith get married. So does that mean that the wife has to kill her husband to become the new husband? Head over to the docking bay and what the fuck is this? Okay, wrong bay. Don't tell me this shit is gonna play each time. Oh, come the fuck on, man. Mop up the troopers and Dark Jedi guarding the transport ship and head into the loading ramp. You'll be transported to the base. Now, here's something that doesn't make any sense to me. I just realized as I wrote this. You're supposed to sneak onto that thing. So, the guy's ship is literally right next to you, and he doesn't hear the fucking lasers going off, or the Dark Jedi dying and screaming. He doesn't hear any of this shit. Explosions, nothing. He just doesn't hear any of that and doesn't think it's suspicious, so... Alright, fuck it then. Make sure you find the memory module and the pendant on the dead body before leaving this place, or you'll be fucked during your trial. Yes, there's a trial that will lead to your on-the-spot execution if you fail to convince the fishmen of your innocence. Revan killed by bureaucrats. Wouldn't that count as irony? The only fight of note here is the droids, but they're easily dealt with by using Force Lightning, and aside from them, there's not really much here to worry about. Before you head to the dormitory, head to the medical facility first to find the dying Selkath and get his token. Then head to the dorm and talk to the Selkath there. Convince them that they're being used so that they could be eyewitnesses at your trial. Once you're clear of all the charges, head back to the Republic Enclave and talk to the guy with the head, and he'll tell you that he doesn't actually know where the star map is, but maybe it's the cause of all the problems. Under the sea. So we take a submarine down to the secret underground facility that the Republic has been building to find it's overrun by zombie fishmen. Inside you'll find all manner of items. Zombie fishmen, untextured walls, half-done looking rooms, and so on. This area is so unfinished that all a Selkath down here, once killed, make a dying droid noise. That's fishy. So treat this whole area like the designers of the game did and hurry up to the end. Before you go, you might run into a talking locker.
I locked myself in here. I'm safe in here. Nothing can hurt me in here. No fishy food for me.
There's no room in this life for talking inanimate objects, so stick your lightsaber inside it to silence this abomination. You'll want to exit the facility onto the sea floor and, slowly, painfully walk your tired ass through all these sharks. Make sure you get the sonic emitter first or you'll be eaten. The next area is Kolto Control, and here you'll meet two people who will chat back and forth while you stand there, waiting for them to get to the fucking point.
Here to kill us!
Kono! Are they?
When the Selkath went crazy, I thought everyone else except me and Sammy went mad.
We thought everyone was dead. Dead or insane. I must have been hysterical.
You have two options. You could flood the water with a toxin that will most likely destroy the Kolto, but will also kill the big fuck-off shark guarding the exit. Or you could cause an explosion that will destroy the equipment down there, sending back the Republic, but also forcing the big fishy to piss off back to its cave. I suggest doing the canister sequence as it's on the way to the star map and is easy enough. After blowing up the machinery, you will be exiled from the planet after yet another trial. Forget about all that shit you did for them before, get the fuck out. After leaving Manaan, you are given another cutscene, where Malak is role-playing with Bastila on his GIMP table. And she looks none too happy. But for once, she's being tortured with all her clothes on, so that's good. For her. There's one more distraction on the way to your main goal. Your ship will get all fucked up by some force that pulls you down to an island full of flat-faced Jar Jar Binks looking motherfuckers who all seem to want a piece of your ass. For whatever reason, this planet is full of baby rancors as well, and it seems these guys are using them as attack dogs. To make things worse, the Republic fleet is flying in soon, and that disruptor field that crashed your plane is going to take out the entire fleet. Well, looks like this is a job for the Dark Lord of the Sith. We have two objectives. First, we need to collect the parts to repair the Ebon Hawk, and second, we need to shut down the disruptor field. The parts we can find on the way, but as for the disruptor field, well, you know how this goes. We're gonna have to do someone a favor. See, I told you this shit becomes meme-worthy by the end of the game. First, work your way through the island until you come to a temple filled to bursting with Rancors and Jar Jars. Hit the groups with Insanity, and for the Rancors, who are likely unaffected, use Kill. Kill is best on them because of the passive damage it does and the fact that it seems to have a very high success rate on Rancors. Once they come out of the hold, they'll be killable within a single round. You don't want these fuckers hitting you because they do half your health in a single round, so keep them at a distance. Jesus. Go through this entrance where you see a little animal get blown up. There's some ship parts in there that you'll need, so go around the outer edge if you don't want to share the same fate as the animal in the cutscene. Head down this narrow canyon and turn to find 2 Rancors. They'll get stuck on the geometry just long enough for you to land a successful kill on each of them, which is plenty enough time to kill them. They also respawn, so you can abuse the teleport ship trick here to grind out the last few levels if you like. On the left, you'll find the camp for the Jar Jars. Walk in the middle of the electricity field and speak to the hologram that appears. You guys have a field that crashes ships on this island specifically. Like, what the fuck do you think I'm here for? The hologram recognizes you from your foil collector's card and asks you to enter. Apparently old Revan screwed these guys over, and apparently old me was much better at getting what he wants without doing favors. But for new Revan, this game has been a favor simulator. The Jar Jar man needs you to go kill a base full of innocent savages to prove you aren't evil anymore. So go and prove it to your heart's content by using Insanity on groups and Kill on their pets. Kill them all.
I killed them. I killed them all. They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women and the children too.
The only fight in this area that gets difficult is the final one, and in the arena, and that's because there's 4 Rancors and about 5 or 6 Jar Jars. You could try Insanity on the group and that might work, but the Rancors are likely to resist it, so Benny Hill these bitches if all else fails by running around in a circle, hitting them with terror, and healing yourself, because the Rancors and the Jar Jars can't keep up with you at a full run. Then, when you have enough distance between you, turn around and hit them with Kill. The Rancors are the biggest problem, so you should focus on them first. 2 casts of Kill should down each one of them. Then you free the people that were kidnapped by searching these side rooms and head back to the head honcho back on the other side of the island. Once you get back to camp, the guy says they'll hold a ceremony that will lower the force field on the door. But before they do that, the Jar Jar people want you to go in alone, and I am more than willing to do it because one level 18 Jedi could probably handle the entire place on his own. But these fucking skirt hangers, these tag-alongs, insist on coming along and claiming all the glory. Actually, they're there to bitch at you when you turn to the dark side, as if you weren't already a dark side Sith Lord. At least you'll get to kill them at the end. That should be so satisfying. So you have to convince the Jar Jars that you need to go in with people, or kill them. Which is a weird choice to make, honestly, because you have to use a persuade check to convince them to let you in, or you're forced to kill them. My persuade skill is literally a fucking 1. So let's see if... Oh, I guess this is one of those persuade checks you can't fail. Alright, so hang on. Why did you have me go through all of this shit then? This game's ending is so fucking weird. Shit feels really tacked on. The multiple endings itself is fucking great. It's just that the shit leading up to the ending has this feeling of a lack of polish. It's much like the sequel. Oh my god! What happened to your face? Nailed it. Anyway, head into the temple and clear this place out. Kill everyone. And don't use any of the computer options to auto-kill things because you'll need the spikes later at the Starforge. Come on. Okay, let's try this again. What the fuck? Come on, gimme!
Who dares intrude on our meditations? You know the penalty for... Revan, you are back.
back again.
We have sworn allegiance to Malak.
Wait, I thought allegiances were for the weak. Where's these people's Sith spirit? Where's the betrayal? What kind of Sith are you?
The Jedi Council has stripped you of your power. You are a shell of what you once were.
Well, fuck, what did I used to be? I mean, the fucking level cap is 20, yo.
I intensified my training tenfold.
Wow, that was almost 30 seconds. That training really paid off. Inside the room this guy was guarding is a workbench you should use to make any last-minute adjustments to your lightsabers and armor before heading to the Starforge. The catacombs entrance can be found here. Head there once you've cleaned up and use the ancient computer there to open the big fuck-off door at the entrance of the temple. That will lead to the roof and to a fight with Bastila, who's turned to the dark side. I can only imagine what Malak had to do to her to get her to turn. I mean, look at that dude. He's pretty tall. I mean, proportionally, his dick has to be huge.
Malak has shown me how the Jedi Council have been using me the same way they once tried to use you. They've been holding me back because they knew one day I would surpass them all.
By shocking you with lightning? Ask her how Malak's dick tastes, and then rip her ass up with a flurry or two. Or just choke her ass until she stops saying dumb shit.
Listen to me. The dark side leads to death and destruction. I've seen the horrors the Sith have unleashed on the galaxy. Turn away from this path.
Shut up, old man. Your time is over. The age of the Jedi and the Republic is no more. This is the age of Darth Revan and the Sith.
Don't do this, kid. I don't want to, but I'll fight you if I have to.
Sounds good. Kill your old companions to prove that you aren't some Jedi pussy and head back down to the ship.
Bastila, you're alive. I was worried about you. For a minute there, I was sure that we'd never see you again once Malak got his... Wait a minute.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Where'd Juhani and Jolie been, though? Are they okay?
They fell down some stairs, man. Yeah.
What? Wait, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they fell down some stairs, yeah. Crazy shit, right? Yeah, there's a lot of them around here. There's a lot of them. They're everywhere, really. Honestly, it's a walking hazard, if anything. But yeah, they didn't make it. They didn't make it. Lots of people dying around here. Most of it's the tripping.
Johnny and Jolie would not swear loyalty to the new ruler of the Sith. They died for their foolishness.
Bitch, will you shut the fuck up?
Now swear loyalty to Darth Revan, or face your own death.
Wait, this bitch don't speak for me. But if she did, Candace, you're cool. HK, you're cool. Mission, I don't know about your ass yet, but time is ticking, darling. You better start making a case. Here you'll be confronted by Karth. And if you're light side, everyone is happy and you can go about your day. If you're dark side, Karth goes running off. And if you're a woman and you gave him a taste of your sweet, dark side candies, he'll run off crying, muttering about how he'll never let himself fall in love again, that women are all vipers, etc. Congrats. You just red-pilled Karth. I'm gonna keep this section brief because I haven't taken a break from this video since I started it and my kids are running out of cats to eat. Now, I don't mind so much, but people are starting to wonder where their pets went. Nah, buddy, no, that's okay. No, you go ahead. We're just gonna have vegetables. You go ahead, it's all yours. Well, you said you wanted to eat like an adult, and, well, this is what adults eat. I don't want to eat the
cat. You said you wanted to eat the fucking cat, so eat the cat. Can we at least cook it? Can you believe this fucking kid? Can you believe this fucking kid? With the questions, all the time. With the fucking questions. Why? Why do... Can we at least cook it? Okay, hon. Okay, I'll handle this. Look, baby, you have to eat it this way because there's more nutrients. Yeah, see? Yeah, more nutrients. See what I mean? See? This is why you gotta listen to us. As you progress through the Starforge, you'll notice that enemies will not stop spawning, no matter what, so you don't need to slow down for anything. Kill and move on to the next bit, because when the next group of enemies spawns, they could be coming in from behind you or from in front of you. And this shit is a slog, so abuse insanity and kill as much as you can to crowd control and avoid taking damage, because even stopping the heal is enough time for more enemies to spawn. I'm not fucking around, it's ridiculous. You'll run into a trio of Dark Jedi near the end, and they're easy enough to stop with an insanity to the leader. While he may resist it, he probably won't resist kill. So lay a force choke on him and kill him before the others break crowd control. On the second level, you'll find a room with 3 computers. Make sure you select to make a Starforged robe on all 3, and you'll receive Revan's robes. You'll need them for your fight with Malak. Speaking of Malak, since she's such a pussy, he set up a trap for you in a room right before you fight him for the last time. This trap has one mechanic. It will infinitely spawn in robots that will overwhelm and kill you if you don't shut down the console spawning them. So what I do here is usually I kill 1 or 2 of them, move to a console, shut it down, kill 2 more robots, shut down the next console. You'll need spikes to do this, and if you don't have any at this point in the game, you'll have to loot them from these containers until you get 3 of them. Shut another console down and loot 3 of them again. It's a pain in the ass, that's why you save your spikes. The fight with Malak can be simple or it can be a nightmare. If you have Death Field and a fully upgraded poison, he's toast. If not, well, shit. Lightning works and so does Flurry, but don't bother with insanity. His saves are so high that I was never able to stun him. You could try to choke him because I believe it damages even if the enemy saves. They just don't get stunned. So it's a nice dot in place of your poison. Poison is so good against him because of the dot and the slow. Slowing him down means you could turn around, hit him with choke or lightning, and run away before he gets a flurry off. In the second stage, you use Death Field on the Kolto tanks, letting Malak chase you around, and this will not only destroy his life source, but will fully heal you in the process. Then it's a matter of lightning or choke, and flurry, until he's a dead guy.
Impossible. I cannot be beaten. I am the Dark Lord of the Sith. Yes, I cannot deny it any longer. You are the one who deserves to be the Dark Lord. You are Darth Revan, Lord. Lord of the Sith. And I am nothing. And so it ends, as I somehow always knew it must, in darkness.
At this point, the game is over. You'll see the final cutscene, which is iffy. See, this is that top-tier Xbox hardware at its best. Whoa, look, it looks like shit. Now, if your Revan has a vagina and you rode Karth like a cowgirl, you have a chance to turn away from the dark side at the very end. But if you're a dude, that's pretty much it. Game over. Even if Bastila rode you raw and dry earlier, she doesn't question you because Bastila is your ride or die bitch. And that's it. We should take this moment to discuss the possible endings because it all starts here and depends on every decision you take from here. If you decide to kill Jolee and Juhani, you are set on the path of Revan. If you turn Bastila back to the light, you're set on the light side. If you guys bump sex parts together, there's a chance you get a neutral ending which sees you shunning the Order. That one's a bit disappointing. There's more than that as well. There's an ending where you save Malak, an ending where you cuck Karth into becoming your gimp for life, even an ending where you and Karth decide to go down with the Starforge in some misguided self-sacrifice that didn't really need to happen. In fact, the thing that I and many others love about this game is how it reacts to who you choose to be, in a way. You could choose to be the character you made and not Revan. You could choose to embrace the Dark Lord inside you, or you could strike out to do your own thing, whatever that might be. but it goes a lot more deeper than that. If Korriban is the last planet you visit on your final test with Uthar, you will be told that...
Is it possible that you are not what you seem to be? Tell me, young one. Tell me what you really are.
And you will be given the option to tell Uthar that you're the Dark Lord of the Sith, and on top of that, he will bow his head and pledge allegiance to you.
Ah, I see. So it is Darth Revan, not dead as we were led to believe. And yet you are not Revan, are you? What has occurred between the time of your reported death and now I can only guess at. But you have changed much. Regardless, your destiny does take you away from here. To confront your old pupil, without a doubt. Yes, that is what lies before you. Go to your destiny then, my Dark Lord. I shall say nothing of what you have done here. Should you prove victorious and wish to return, then I and all Sith shall be your servants.
Now that is some really nice NPC reactivity. People thought Morrowind was amazing for recognizing you as the Nerevarine at the end of the game, but this shit is on a whole other level. And honestly, makes me wish that we found out that you were Revan a hell of a lot earlier, so that we could revel in all of the people recognizing you for who you are. Uthar, on the other hand, you can redeem her, send her to Dantooine and speak to her. That is before Malak blows it all up. It's awesome fucking dialogue, too.
You told me I should rethink my path, and I did. You were right. It's been very hard to let go of all those thoughts about power and strength and victory. I don't know if I'll ever be completely free of them. I met my old master. He cried when he saw me. I was embarrassed to see his weakness. Old habits die hard. But it felt good, too. It felt good to know he missed me, that he worried about me. The council said they would give me time to decide if I wanted to try again, if I was ready. I don't know, there's so much I've done. Part of me just wants to forget it, to put it behind me. But that isn't right either. I have to accept it and move on. My old master said he would start exercises with me again, slowly, when I was ready. He said my experience with the dark side could make me a very wise Jedi.
See, this is the kind of shit that makes me go a big old rubbery hard-on in an RPG. If I could say that the game did one thing well, it's this aspect. And that's how you play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Any questions?